He is focused. It's
This man's
interesting.
going in.
It's interesting how he's looking down more than Borum. I guess the screens are differently angled.
He looks like he's straight up trying to pretend to be awake in class. Like he's trying to pretend he's looking at a textbook or his notebook, but he's just completely goes
Yeah,
in.
he actually does look like he's studying. Alright, so Borum's got the Shadow Dragon classic lineup, and Timmy's got Shadow and Haven.
Mhm.
I do a lot of people bring Haven as like a decent tech against Shadow because it's
I
got all the
think so.
banishes.
There's a lot of Haven in this tournament and in a lot of JCGs. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
class number 3 for Japan. They don't even really bring any other classes than these three, but I
Mhm.
feel like Haven takes up every time someone's not playing Shadow or Dragon.
Yeah, because they got like decent clears. They have the banishing effects, which are best against Shadow. So it seems like it makes sense. And a lot, everyone's playing like the Aegis version, right?
Hmm. I think there was one player here who had a Stormhaven list. I forget who.
Stormhaven.
Yeah, at least it looked like Stormhaven. It had like the 3-drop amulet that summons the Stormbird, and I just assumed then that it's probably Stormhaven.
Oh, okay. It might be. It might be Timmy. I feel like it's.
Hmm.
Hmm. Stormhaven. I guess that could be good against like. What would it be good against?
I think it's like it's half decent versus Shadow, not favored, but like if it has a
Yeah.
47-48% win rate, that's
Yeah.
favored in my book.
Oh God.
Like it's gotten that bad.
It still got Cujo's. It probably has like Lion Spirits still. Got some. I don't know if anyone played Themis, or they probably played Dark John, right?
Yeah, lots of that card.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard not to stare at the thing dangling off of this guy's ear. Like, is that his ear thing or his
Yeah.
how he gets audio? Okay,
I
because it's looking like a phone cord hooked up to his ear.
I think that's how they tell them like what's happening, like in the
Uh-huh.
behind the scenes.
Does the guy on the left not need one? Maybe he's just got like a
Maybe just
micro implant.
he probably just cues into what the other guy
Hmm.
leads on to. They look legit though. It's not like they look serious as casters.
Yeah.
Alright.
I actually try to study how Japanese people do casting a lot, and I'm just like, while it's really cool, um, I can't imitate it at all. The way they cast is very like it's towards an audience that finds it very interesting.
Yeah. Alright, so we have Timmy starting off with his Haven on the bottom and Boram's on the top.
Oh yeah. Sounds of carpentry in the background.
Yeah, I know. Wait, I have to.
It's okay. The good old lumber mill. Alright, double Aegis. Feels good, man.
That's rough. And the John. It's got his most expensive curve. Okay. Is this just how Aegis decks are built? He's got the.
Yeah, I think like the general way they tend to build these is like early game amulets. They run area in this a lot. I notice it's almost like always in here. Uh, then after that, they try to run a bunch of minions early, um, like Grimnir, whatnot. Go into Radiance Angel, just like stuff that can bump and kill skeletons, even just a couple,
Yeah.
and then it just
And
kind
just
of
survive until you
figures
can
it
play
out.
Aegis. That makes sense. I like how they got excited when he drew Grimnir.
Yeah,
I feel like I had
I
to
like
turn.
watching their physical reactions.
Yeah. I had to turn down the VOD a little bit because it had some static sound. I'm not sure if that's the VOD recording or.
Oh, I remember the audio in the VOD becomes like horrifying somewhere during like rounds 3 and 4. It
Oh.
turns into the sound of actual like screaming demons or something. They had some like weird audio issue. It only lasts like a minute, but
Oh, okay.
I thought my headset was actually breaking when like it happened. Like it was so horrifying to listen to.
Hopefully we catch on to it early. Alright, so the Sibir here.
I feel when she can trade into both the Grimnir and the Heavenly Hound and survive.
Yeah, Sybil is like, it's got so much health when it evolved as a 5-drop.
Yeah. It's like I want to start a petition against cards that have a lot of value effects but also have premium stats. Because if she was a 3/4, I think I'd be happy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the argument is like, she doesn't really come down on turn. I guess you could play on turn 5 for the ramp if you didn't ramp before, but you won't get the heal. Or you can play on turn 7, you get a ramp and the heal. But then at that point, it's like a turn 7 play, which makes more balance.
Okay, if anyone's confused, by the way, it took me forever to figure this out when I was actually watching. But guy on the left is the top player, guy on the right is the bottom player.
They make it. They try to help us out quite a bit with the Team Korea, Team Japan.
Yeah. Actually, they're very English friendly with the. They have the entire bottom side of the screen is like the English explanation.
Now I don't have to worry about forgetting what the card names exactly are.
Yeah.
I should know.
Easy on what is it? Easy on casters too, because they don't have to explain the cards at all.
Oh yeah, that's true.
This was us.
They don't have to focus on the cards so much.
Yeah, instead of explaining the cards, I could just complain about them.
Yep. Alright, so just gonna play Grimnir here for the board. I guess that's fine. It's not like the dragon's going on 10 play points, so he can't lightning blast this entire board, which would be devastating for Timmy.
Yeah, that would be bottom right, buddy.
Yeah, because like he can't even play Aegis this next turn, so he's safe for one more turn. And this actually lines up really well with his with the Tribunal, because the Tribunal pops the turn he's going to be playing Aegis.
And also, like, if he doesn't clear this board or do like anything to it, just using an Evo point makes him push like 1 billion damage with Jun.
Okay, so he gets to clear off 2 minions. The one thing Aegis doesn't kill right away is Bahamut. So that might be a bit interesting. So for Timmy here, he could drop in their Tribunal. I guess pretty good tempo. And just push 6.
That's the better play. As opposed to Evo, Falcon, Dark Shun, all face.
Oh god, wait, that would be...
like 12 damage.
12, yeah. The problem with that is like he doesn't have much else to finish the game off if he does that.
That's his only burst for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Keeping the evolve and going into that Aegis turn next turn is really, really good. You can eat a lightning blast right now and just kind of shrug it off.
Yeah. The Tribunals is pretty good here because it stops dragons from playing, because usually dragons just drop 1 threat and then that's all they can do. So the Tribunal kind of stops that from happening.
Yeah.
It lets him set up the Aegis pretty nicely. Although the lightning blast does get some good value here. Banishes 2 Tribunals off the board. But here comes the big ol' beat stick.
Daddy Aegis.
Oh man, if he drops 2 Aegis, like Bahamut could just never attack.
Yeah.
that's pretty funny.
Borum right, buddy.
It's like the old Mordecai lock, except you can't get stopped by like a lightning blast or anything.
That's actually funny. Like Bahamut literally can never attack again in that circumstance.
Yeah. Alright, so Borum's going for the Forte this turn. So is he just trying to push the damage off with the Forte? Because I guess Forte doesn't get hit except for spells. Maybe a Cujo.
Yeah. I think this is like one of those plays that's like flooding versus Bahamut equivalent, where it's the only thing you can do, and if your opponent can still clear you past it, it sucks for you.
He also does have the Zell and Ouroboros combo with his last Evo point, so that's like an extra 11 damage burst he could do with that.
Yeah, so you can see him praying to his god on the left there.
Yeah, he does have a 2-turn Lisa this turn, so it does make sense to do this.
Oh god, this man goes for the Jean instead of the Themis. I love it.
Oh yeah, so he's going to push 10 here. And that's... Well, I guess the Zeus doesn't do that much.
Yeah, this man's career is kind of over.
Yeah, that's... Themis is in the way. It's surprising that Timmy actually pulled this off, because he drew two Aegis and his John, like, in the beginning of the game. And he somehow just curved into them really nicely with the help of Tribunal and just having the board through the mid game.
Yeah, Tribunal did a lot for him this game, and also like it shows a little bit of the value of Beast Caller area. Is even though the card doesn't like do it all on its own, it's still just kind of having it tick off against Dragon and forcing them to trade into your 2-drop like that later when it like skips the turns that it spends counting down. It's like still pretty good in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Aegis is actually pretty good for Haven, because otherwise there's no way Haven would ever beat this type of dragon anymore if they didn't have a card that couldn't be removed. So you're going for Zeus. Zeus pretty much just stalls him like one turn. I guess he could just go face with this. Yeah. I mean,
It still kind of just gets kind of overshot here.
Yeah, just too shotted by the Aegis. And Dragon can be defeated.
Yeah, Zeus tried. It's like he came in there and it like literally like that scene where Mr. Satan is like trying to show up on Zell and just starts punching him in the chest, and then Cell just like backhands him into the distant mountains.
Borum looked like he took some damage in real life there.
Yeah, seriously. It's like I think Haven actually is just fine in that matchup, and a lot of people who have kind of played that matchup tend to agree. Mm-hmm. It's just like if you get everything to go right for you, it's an easy matchup. It's just that you have to kind of draw a bit more perfect of a you have to carve out really well, as opposed to
you have to draw better than Dragon does, I think.
Yeah.
But I think dropping Aegis at turn 9 is probably your best way of winning, from what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Borum was like pretty upset after that loss, because he thought that the Dragon could win that, and especially in a best of 3, winning the first game gives you quite an advantage.
Yeah, it kind of destroys the other person's soul, because they're like, well, now I gotta win with both of my
decks. Yeah, now you have to reverse sleep, rather than you have 2 chances to win with your one deck. And in this game, like, if your deck just has 50% chance of winning against both the opponent's classes, then you have a good shot of winning.
Mm-hmm.
So Timmy just has to win with it. Oh, did he bring Dragon or Shadow?
Shadow.
Shadow? Okay. Makes sense. So the Shadow versus Dragon matchup, I feel like Dragon's like actually has a pretty decent chance against them.
I'd say it's very close to being even, with only a very slight favor of Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of depends. I'd say it's favored 50% of the time, and that 50% of the time is when Shadow goes first, and then it just like has a huge advantage. If Shadow goes second, it's a pretty big disadvantage.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because then Dragon gets the initiative on ramping.
Yeah.
Because I find that I win with
first.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, they go first, Dragon Oracle, Rahab, or Grimnir, anything.
Yeah.
And just suddenly, like, any early game curve, Prince Catacomb, whatever, is just all being traded into really easily.
Yeah. And then, like, once Dragon hits 10, they can, like, Lightning Blast if you set up a last word board with skeletons.
Mm-hmm. Like, Death's Breath's the only real ward in the deck. You have to set that up, and if you don't have that, then Shadow's just a very defenseless archetype. They can't heal, they don't play Cowies or anything.
Makes sense. Alright, so Timmy's got a decent curve. He's got 1, 2, and 2, 3, which is what you want, a Shadow.
Yeah, got that Sesame Street curve.
The Soul Squasher is pretty good against Dragon, especially because Dragon's going evil first, so could get a lot of tempo.
Oh, I just realized the Shadow Mirror.
Yeah, the Shadow Mirror.
Jevaded.
I don't know, I guess we were talking about the Dragon versus Shadow matchup.
Yeah. The
Face.
Shadow Mirror can be kind of depressing to commentate sometimes because you can already see, like, less than a minute into the game, how much it sucks to go second in this matchup.
Oh yeah, especially if
Because,
the person going first starts off with a 1-2. It's really hard. Oh,
yeah.
huh, that's a good draw. Do you
Mhm.
trade
Doesn't.
the bones first, and then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's going to go for the. Okay, this makes a bit more sense, I guess. It's more efficient on his play points.
Mhm.
You could trade the
It's
bones in.
probably still okay to trade now, yeah.
Yeah, I think you do because otherwise he trades the 2-1 into his 2-2. So which 2-drop do you play with it?
He has 4 shadows, so I just let the Lyriel loose here.
Yeah,
Opponent's about to Evo to try to stave off some damage.
that makes sense. So he could Soul Squasher. He could save his Evo point even next turn.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's like, this is, I think, the epitome of what it looks like to kind of have to go second in this matchup. It's just, you want to play the same cards as your opponent almost all the time, but you get forced to try to Evo something. Even having Lyriel this turn is really good for him, but it still sucks for him because he went second. Even though he gets to keep some health, it's like, he took about 6, maybe 8 total damage in the time it took him to get to an Evo point, and then he just spends the rest of the game catching up to the Soul Squasher.
Oh yeah, and then this not only is it Soul Squasher, but he's playing the Prince of Catacombs with it, so it's not even like
Oof.
he can't really fight for the board anymore because he's
Yeah.
just never getting the board now unless he
If
plays
Shadow
like
could
a.
afford to I'm just saying, if Shadow could afford to run things like Playful Necromancer, then you can imagine that that turn would have been a lot easier. But like, it just sucks so much going first with that card.
Yeah.
It's like you have to sacrifice like one of the strongest things of the deck. It's like its going first advantage. It's like you cut a bit of that just to make it survive its own mirror match going
Mm-hmm.
second. Not that useful versus Dragon. So it'd take a very slightly different meta to sort of even out this problem. But yeah, other
Yeah,
than
probably
that, it's
not
just kind
worth
of
it.
watching him like try to fight his way out of a corner here.
Yeah, and it looks like he is going to go for the board. I guess he can't have. Oh, he can't have to. He's at 9 life, so the next turn, Cerberus could come in with an evil on one of the followers that could already attack. Plus, he could use the Coco or Mimi. Is he just dead next turn?
Yeah, that's like a billion damage. Um,
Grimnir.
Assuming Evo points and Cerberus adds 4 to the board. If he has 5 still on board attacking, it's not going to be lethal, but it's going to be very close. And his
Yeah,
board won't
he
be
could do
fancy.
6, I believe. I still think it's Cerberus. Cerberus seems good. He could play it with Coco. He could trade the Catacombs in to Grimnir.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of danger of being bricked out here, or brick walled out by the Death's Breath. Just because
Oh
he pushes
yeah.
him to 7. I mean, he pushes him for 7 damage, and then if he doesn't trade and he gets Death's Breath and he didn't answer the Shadow Reaper, then wait, actually, never mind.
Well,
He
you
just
could
pushes
just
7
blue.
damage and then
Yeah,
Coco.
yeah.
Oops.
And then Mimi's next turn. There's no way he dies on
Yeah.
Borum's next turn.
Gets deathly tyranted.
Oh, he's playing a Saxton in his list. That's interesting.
Faced Ghost Town Sexton. I see sometimes people run that card, but I never really see it really have a high moment.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just helps. Wait, but he was playing Phantom Howl, right? So it might be for
Yeah.
that.
It's
Cause
just like, it seems like such a convoluted combo. You can play like Phantom
yeah,
Howl for X amount of ghosts, trade a few in, then Prince Catacomb, and then Ghost Town Sexton, and they turn into skeletons. Like 3-card combo to get like 3 skeletons.
yeah, it's pretty awkward because that's the only time you would actually use Sexton's effect, right?
Yeah. Other than just like trying to get shadows off of Lightning Blast. But
Yeah,
if that's like a 10 mana dragon you're against, then you probably are
losing.
kind of scooping that one, yeah.
Yeah. So Timmy's just going to win that 2-0, taking it for Japan. So 3 players from Japan, or Japan has to win 2 more times, and then win the whole set. Do you know who the team captains are for each team?
I am not sure. I feel like just because they have the most commanding physical presence is dude with the mask and Ma, but I have no actual clue.
Yeah, because it didn't say in the rounds. It's hard to tell because if they did it like Hearthstone, then I believe it should be the people that are playing last. So in round 4, that are the ace players.
Mm-hmm.
But they might just queue in randomly or set up the matchings by random. How would you prefer being the 4th player and be like your team wins 3-0 and you don't have to play, or would you want to be like that person that could win the match for you?
Man, I'd want to like just go in there first. It's like whenever there's like a class presentation or like project assignment, I'm always like, can I do this first?
Oh,
Because I don't
okay.
want to be sitting there for like hours being like, oh god, am I gonna be called on next?
That
Or am I
yeah,
gonna have
makes
to do it
sense.
today or tomorrow? Yeah. Just play your games, get it over with. Even if you lose, at least you got your games out of the way. Because I feel like if you're just sitting there watching all these games go on and you haven't played yet, you just gotta like start sweating.
Yeah, you might psych yourself out. And if you play first, you're you don't feel as much pressure, I guess, because the score is
And you don't
zero
really
zero.
have to win.
Yeah, I mean it helps.
Yeah, it's really good if you do. But if it comes down to like the wire, you got your last guy coming in, you gotta win a tiebreaker or something.
Yeah.
Oof.
Eh,
That's the guy who's been sitting there not playing for so long, and suddenly he's got all that weight on his shoulders. I'd feel bad for that guy.
and then you have to play Shadow Mirror and Dragon Mirror.
Oh my god, yeah. You gotta flip that coin so carefully.
Actually, I'd probably prefer if I was the last guy with all that pressure to have the mirror matches because then I have a reason to fall back on if I lose. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I can't really do much there.
I did what I could, I drew my hand. Like,
Yeah, but if you have like different classes, you could be like, oh man, I got out mind gamed in the class selection or something.
uh-huh. Or you can imagine like in a game that tends like any other like tournament of a card game that has like a lot of depth and like is in a meta game where people are very inventive. Like imagine showing up to a Shadowverse and like some kind of utopian meta game we get in like a year from now, where like everyone can build their own decks. There's a lot of creativity going on. You're the last guy. You're the one it all comes down to, and you're bringing these 2 lists you came up with yourself and you're proud of, and then you lose. God,
Oh yeah,
career destroying moment.
that's when you disappear for a bit,
Yeah, like
go on a
go
little
Batman for a
hiatus.
while.
Yeah,
I guess that is one of the kind of like binding things that does keep people playing Shadowverse in tournaments, even when the metagame is like pretty frustrating. Is like, even if there's some decks that you just kind of have to bring and have to play mirrors of, at
yeah,
least when you lose, you don't feel that demotivated. It's like
yeah. That's true.
you still gave it your best. It's like you did as much as you could have, and so there's no reason to stop trying. Unless you're not having fun. Like I still like watching the game no matter how bad the meta gets.
I can definitely see if some people are not having fun if they just get curved out. At the last tournament I played, the last game, I was feeling pretty good when I win the Shadow Mirrors. I think I got to
It
like
feels
around
really good to win this
in
game.
single limbs. I went up to like got to round 3, just kept winning the Shadow Mirrors. Felt like I was a better player.
Yeah, just smashing them for like, I swear in some mirror matches in this game, it feels like if you go first, you have less evolution points, you evolve later, but in return, at like on turn 1, you just rag shot your opponent to the face. Like,
Yeah, essentially it. That's a twin star. He came third in amateur open. I wonder if these amateur opens are these like the Korean ones?
hmm,
Rise of Bahamut Cup, second place. I wonder if they're
yeah.
just showing the top result or their only results.
I guess they don't exactly have enough space to show all of them, so I guess they're looking for the most prestigious. So it's
Yeah.
like what the Famitsu Cup, 2017, second place. It's pretty big. It's like 1 million people playing in that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think so. Because these guys have to been playing more tournaments than just one. Oh right, so
No,
Scourge.
Bloodcraft.
Yeah, the blood. Team Japan, man, they're bringing like different classes. Korea just got the Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, I imagine like, especially with Japan and how much they've kind of played out this metagame so far,
Mm-hmm.
probably what their players are doing is constantly, even if, as I said before, there might be classes that are just flat out tier 2, just don't really have amazing matchups into tier 1 stuff, they'll still bring them just to force their opponent to play against decks that they might not be teching against. So like you're playing a dragon list that's fully teched against Shadow, maybe you're missing some cards that might help you out a lot versus like a blood matchup or something.
Yeah, or they might
They're
be
probably just
taking
that
for
okay.
like the mirror match too, for some kind of edge. Or maybe Japan just figured out the counter to the meta.
Yeah, even if it's like psychological. It's like there's sometimes like a pro in a fighting game can get a set or a couple of games taken off of them by someone just because their opponent, no matter how skilled they are, is just playing a character that they've never practiced against. So they have no idea what's actually going on when they're playing.
Yeah. Granted, oh, Japan's still bringing a Shadow, but that's understandable.
Yeah. Shadow's like uncuttable at this point.
Yeah, it's like you're building a lineup. You're like, what one deck do I need to bring? Because they already have Shadow figured out.
Yeah. It's like Daria, it's just the core.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in that metagame. It's like why would you not bring it?
Yeah. I mean, during the Daria meta, like, I hardly brought it to tournaments. Although the time I did bring it, I did top 16.
Yeah.
The only time.
It's
So,
probably frustrating to bring it to tournaments, at least in Daria's case, just because it's like with how much that deck was able to break in some games, it's like you play so many games with it throughout a tournament that you end up feeling that once or twice.
mm-hmm.
See, like a real hipster would come to these tournaments and bring like Bloodhaven or Bloodsword.
I think the rarest lineup we would see would be uh, Sword Rune.
Sword, yeah.
Sword Rune.
Like Vagabond Frog Sword plus like PTP.
PogChamp?
Yo. So I'm casting polymerization here.
Oh wow, introduction. Oh, I like that transition. That's good.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Why don't we have that?
Oh,
Oh
so
my
he's
god,
playing
this
the.
man's playing, was it Crazed Executioner?
Yeah, just full hardcore KMS blood.
This guy's deck plan isn't even to get to Vengeance, it's just straight up just die.
If I'm going to play against Shadow, I'm going to kill myself before Shadow kills me.
No, and this could be weird, because he's against Nephthys, it looks like. I see Death Ledger.
Oh
I
yeah.
just assumed Nephthys.
Oh man. I mean that's better for him, right? Because that deck's
Yeah.
slower.
Yeah, this is actually a matchup I have no idea about. I've never played it myself. At most, I think it's one of those kinds of matchups where Blood is favored until Shadow gets like a stabilization curve, like Death's Breath into a hard cast Cowie into a Nephthys.
Oh yeah.
Probably hard to take it back from there. It might be hard to trade into the bodies of Death's Ledger too, because like 4/4s are huge. Those trade into your Devils of Vengeance.
Yeah. Okay, just a Belfagor. That's a card you want to play on turn 4, right? It's this deck.
His turn 3's looking awkward too. He only has 2 drops.
Yeah,
He's just gonna scratch himself to get another.
Guess he kind of has to. In turn 4, he has the option to go for like double 2 drops if he doesn't want to go for the Belfagor. But I imagine it'd be Belfagor. I'm still not too sure how the ledger works.
The way they play the deck now is since it only pulls Shadowcraft minions, they cut all Shadowcraft minions from 2 and 3. So they only play, like, as you saw, Unica. I think they run Lyriel sometimes too.
Okay.
Grimnir, Angel of the Word sometimes.
Yep.
But then the only Shadowcraft minion they run is right there. And it sucks that he drew the other 2 because it's the only one they play, Attendant of Night.
So does it not
Death
pull
Ledger,
anything else?
it's supposed to pull those 2, and then it doesn't pull anything until turns 8 and 9, when it will pull Cowie and Mordecai.
Oh, I see.
But it's pretty irrelevant after that, because it's like it's useful when it does that, but you already played Nephthys on those turns. But it's like, that thing is gonna... It summoned a Lich, and now it's just gonna skip a turn because he doesn't have another Shadowcraft minion. Unless it's like...
Sucks.
Yeah, sometimes people play Lurchin Corpse, but it's not really that good with Ledger.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Not as consistent. So Ledger is essentially, you're playing 4 for 2 Liches? Is that the idea?
It's pretty cool. You get a bunch of bodies that, like, Shadow also tends not to know how to deal with exactly.
I guess it also thins your deck a bit too.
Oh, it looks like we got nerfs.
It's twins.
I'm not gonna sabotage to talk about them unless you want to in the middle of this match.
Oh, and then next patch.
Yeah.
I think I saw someone talking about it, but I didn't look into the details. Ooh, so he gets the. Oh, he drew the air jammer last turn, but he gets to play on curve. This is probably this is the strongest curve that Blood usually wants. Oh, gets double Blood Wolf. Is that good? I guess it's not bad. Looking at Twinstar's hand though, it looks really bad against his board. Like those Attendant of Darkness aren't doing anything. Oh, and he draws a Mordecai. Feels bad, man. Yeah, these guys aren't going to do anything. He has to play the Unicard just to evolve it into the Air Jammer. Does this deck have any way of just killing off their own attendants?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it has. That's a good question. I know it doesn't play any minions that would have a sack ability. Like it doesn't play Necro Assassin just because Ledger would pull it.
Yeah.
So I think if anything,
Just
Soul Conversion maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but out of that, guess not.
That's rough. It's just going to be a 1-1 sitting there. If he survives 10 turns, though, you could kill Scourge with it. But a lot of options here for Scourge. He has 6, 8, 10. Oh, double Urius.
Ooh. His board is like.
Yeah, I don't think Shadow comes back from this. I mean, they could get a. Never mind.
It's pretty bottom right, but he can play anything and just eat 2 damage for it. He can play Zombie Party and eat 3 times 2 6 damage for it. This is a true thinking emoji turn. But yeah, he just kind of got thrown both off the board, but also couldn't find any way to really stabilize with these later turns.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how hard he'd get punished for playing Death Breath to try to stay alive here.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't concede. I mean, I guess 5, 6, 8. He's 1 off on board. Twister was doing fine like early on though because he had like the initiative and he was dropping bodies, but he just didn't. His mid game was like awful, and Scourge had the Belfagor into the Air Jammer, which is too strong, into double Air Jammer on 5 and 6.
Like, look at that poor guy with his 2 Attendant Knights on the field and nothing to do about them. That's like Daria levels of unfortunate draw there.
Now he just feels bad for bringing the Ledger. I guess Ledger, an average game of a Ledger deck wouldn't see those draws. So.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a better play than playing the book though on turn 4?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
Because
considering he wanted to get that last Attendant Knight out of his deck.
Yeah, and he wants it to actually be a Lich. So the 2 wild classes, the Haven and the Blood, winning first try for Japan.
Mm-hmm. That Blood deck is actually like real terror. Like, it is so powerful when it starts to go off in the way that its curve wants to. Because you can see he just drowns his opponent out with those air jammers.
Yeah.
Not just the value, but pressure.
I never get a good win rate with that deck though. Whenever I try it out.
I liked playing it on ladder. I think I climbed maybe about 2,000 points only before I started to get bored of it. But it's pretty fun to play. And sometimes it can, in like some of the weirder situations, it can have a lot of very weird decisions you have to start making.
Yeah, because is it like a all face deck, or do you still want to try to get like bored early on, right? Early mid?
Yeah, it's all face, but since you don't have much health, you have to be very careful about like every now and then you have to trade, but every trade you make is like a huge amount of damage that you're throwing at a follower instead of face, like 4 to 6 damage easily.
Yeah.
And so when you trade like, or when you give up that huge amount of face damage, it's always like an important thing.
And then you
It's
can
not
just get
always
wiped.
obvious when and where to trade.
And it's like super important to draw your bell figures, right? Otherwise you just throw on Steam.
Mhm.
Are people still playing soul dealers?
Yep.
Okay.
Soul Dealer is a really big part of the deck. Not even just because Soul Dealer itself is okay and gets the job done, but I think that's actually the only reason they play it, is like they don't have another big body 4-drop that does it.
That puts them in vengeance.
Yeah, they'd
Wait.
always rather have Belphegor than Soul Dealer almost all the time.
Yeah.
And the one exception that sometimes you can just like one punch man your opponent with Soul Dealer, evolve him, give him Storm with Laura. Like that's a real finisher that deck has.
Oh my. Oh, people play the Laura. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that makes
Usually
sense.
just 1, 2, 3 copies.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm not winning as much. Don't have Laura in my deck.
Yeah, super good finisher. The original list of the Japanese guy, I forget his name, but he was the one who first posted the list.
Mm-hmm.
He ran 3 of it, and it was okay. I think a lot of people cut it to 2 or 1, but
That makes sense.
I liked it at 3 just because it felt so consistent. Like you'll always have that in case Vengeance gets cracked.
Yeah.
Just nuking your opponent for like 6 to 8 damage later in a deck that's as aggressive as that can be is just massive.
It's a lot. So Dragons... Alright, Twinstar has like a lot of ramp here. He got double Dragon's Oracle, Aelia. So he can get up to that Genesis Dragon pretty fast. Serbo gives him more ramp, also gives him some heal with a big body. He's got a pretty good, nice hand. Did he not ramp on turn 2? He has the dragon.
No,
The
actually.
Dragon Oracle's on his far right, so I missed what he did on
Yeah,
turn 2. Maybe he wants to play Sybil on 5s so he could get the effect off with the body.
yeah, that's possible. I forget, actually. I wasn't paying attention to whether or not he played anything on turn 2, in fact. Maybe he played like a... No, he didn't play a removal, did he? Or did he?
It doesn't seem
Good
like
questions.
it. He might just be going for the curve here. Does he take the value trade with the Aelia, or does he want the ramp this turn? So by doing this, he goes up to 6 next turn. Sybil goes to 7, so he gets the health. So yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty good, yeah. Okay, Mr.
Oh.
Brick. 6,
Oh,
7,
that
6,
feels
7.
bad.
He has a 1-drop on the board to show for it. Ugh. Ugh. And he's only up to 5
5,
shadows
yeah.
in advance.
That's rough. I mean, I guess next turn his Death Breath, he doesn't get the wards, but it adds more to his shadow count for his turn 7 play. Yeah, so he gets to go up. Not gonna evo here. Doesn't need to since Rahab's protecting the Sybil. Yeah, and just gotta be the Death Breath here. Does he have to use an evil just to trade? That feels really bad. 'Cause he's already starting the game with 1 less evil point.
I think he may just have to though, because well, how much burst does Dragon really have? Only like 13 in a couple turns. Yeah, maybe he should do that. It feels bad, but I think in order to try to stay ahead, because his hand is actually really good. Well,
going to.
he could choose not to. I mean, he can still just take the shadows, go for Yaktar soon.
Yeah, and he can rush. The zombie with the rush could trade into the Rahab since it's at 4 health anyways. So I guess he just wants to take the 5. Or he might figure that Twinstar might trade. Or he goes up to 10 this turn. And full life. Evolve into Sybil. So yeah, let's see if he trades here. Oh, all face. I guess that makes sense because he has Genesis Dragon next turn. He evolved that for 9 damage.
Jeez. Yeah, well, this is looking a little bit on the leaning towards over side.
Yeah. I mean, the only
I'm a
way
massive
Scourge could block this is with the Death Breath, and he gets wards up. But then that just kind of just stalls it because he just play Bahamut next turn.
Hmm. I guess he'll have enough. Well, no, he won't have shadows after that because 6 is way too much to spend for Yaktar to be able to deal with it. If he evolves the Yaktar the turn after that to take care of the Bahamut, then he becomes a little bit closer to still losing, I think.
Yeah, I think either way, which way he goes, is just kind of like stalling turns, but it doesn't really inch him closer to winning the game.
Yeah.
Because he has to hope that Twister
Yeah.
has like nothing good in his hand, which is Dragon, so most of their cards are good.
Yeah. It's like, you have to deal with imagine just getting Grimneared right here. It's just like, that would win the game.
Yeah, that would just win the game. Scourge hasn't even got a chance to effectively use his Evo yet.
Mm.
I wonder if these players know each other's deck lists beforehand, or if it's just closed deck lists.
That's a good question. I feel like it's closed, but...
Bahamut here makes sense. Bahamut doesn't even need to attack, it's just clearing the wards off. Oh, the third Hector.
Well, he can play 1 now. Use that Evo point.
Yeah, he
And
can
cash
kill
in these
Bahamut.
zombies.
Yep, and then die.
Yeah, he kills Bahamut then dies. The good old answer and die metagame.
I've noticed a lot of people like to play Erd in their dragons now. Is that for the fort? How does Erd and Ouroboros interaction work?
It kills Ouroboros, you heal, you get an Ouroboros in your hand, and then it summons an Ouroboros on the field.
Oh, okay, so you
Sounds...
get a free one.
Yeah, that sounds pretty funny. I don't think the card actually survives on board after the turn you play it that often. People will be forced to trade into it anyway. But
Yeah.
that would be so nasty.
Yeah. Ouroboros is like such an important card in some matchups too. Like I feel like in the Dragon Mirror, it's like one of the best cards to have, and I always save my Lightning Blasts for it. Just gotta trade all these zombies in. Even when this Hector dies, it's only going to be able to get one zombie off of the second Hector.
Mm.
But yeah, that doesn't matter.
He's gonna eat this Genesis Dragon to the face.
Yep. I'm kind of my fault. Scourge had a pretty strong curve last game, but then this time the Team Korea had the better curve. All the ramp in his deck was in his hand that game. Also, like missing turn 5 as Shadow felt really bad.
Yeah, it's like something that's kind of interesting to watch about that one is how like he went first with Shadow and he did open out a pretty strong curve, but like he ran into this problem of even Shadowcraft needs to find ways to punch efficiently over largely static boards like Rahab, Grimnir constantly. If it trades too much into those before it can like get a board, value it off with skeletons in some way, then it starts to slow down. And then yeah, as you said, that turn 5 with the Skull Beast on the board, nothing in hand to play. It's just like you're never really gonna get a fast turn after that.
Yeah. I feel like Shadow like has a hard time when they start getting behind. Like they have the board spamming tools like the Death Breath and all the skeletons, but like if it's late game and then your opponent's ahead, you can't really come back as Shadow as much. Especially against like slower decks. If it's like a mid-range mirror, then it can make comebacks with those huge board swings, but decks with board clears is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, like, post metagame shift, I feel like the way decks are played right now is actually quite rare to see in a card game. Where it's like some of the most aggressive decks don't even play a lot of the more versatile tools in their class. Shadow does not play anything that functions as a board clear, things like that. So it makes me wonder, like, even with like the changes that we already just now kind of got from the Say Games thing, makes me wonder, like, if this was all just a dream, like, if this metagame was just due to like a couple of really high power level cards.
Well, after the Tempest of the Gods set, Shadow got they basically got Grimnir, Prince of Catacombs, Hector. I feel like the most powerful card Shadow got was Prince of Catacombs.
Mm-hmm. Which just got turned into a 4-drop.
Oh, okay. That changes things quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I think it's still good if you go first with it. I mean, even if we kind of watch it in these games, it's like people already, as we saw in like an earlier game, if you go second, it's already kind of an okay card. It's still very strong and has a lot of great turns, but it doesn't really put that much impact on the board, and you're already taking damage. If you go second and that thing comes out on turn 4, it's like that could really not be that good.
Yeah, because it doesn't
And
really do much. Because turn 4, you might want an Evo. Especially, yeah, if you're going second, you want Evo. It's not really
it's
good
actually,
for a
yeah.
target.
It's bigger than I thought because, a big part of it being turn 3 is that you want to play it and go into Orthrus on turn 4,
Yeah,
but you lose that entirely.
exactly.
It's like if you're going first, then I guess you could just play 1-drop, 2-drop Grimnir,
Yeah.
then Catacomb, but you don't have Orthrus then anymore, and yeah, that's actually a pretty big change. It hurts going second more than first, but still pretty decent stuff. I think that's the only change to Shadow, though.
It might be a big enough change where people start changing from mid-range aggro mid-range Shadow to like the book Shadow.
No, yeah. Death Note Shadow.
Death Note Shadow, yeah, that's a good name. Scourge actually has Attendant of Night in his list.
Oh yeah. I just now noticed that. Also, like Dark Conjurer usually isn't played in
Oh.
And that's actually so sick.
Yeah, that's pretty
like
good.
You gotta trade into this Attendant of Night, or I'm going Orthrus, buddy.
Yeah.
Or if you trade into it, I'm still going Orthrus, buddy.
Now the Attendant of Night's actually a threat. When it's just a 1/1, like I could just ignore it all the time, but might force the full trade from the Lyrio Evo.
Yeah. Very fortunate that Lyriel can actually just 2-drop trade into that.
Mm-hmm.
Just by the weird specific way that it happens to work out.
He doesn't get to put. Oh, I guess he has a carrot, so he still gets to put something on the board and trades well into the Orthros.
Yeah, that's really good.
As a response, Scourge has 2 and 3. He's got the Catacombs plus either 2-drop he would want to go with. I think probably the Grim Reaper seems a bit better. Honestly, he's going to evolve. But evolving Orthros doesn't really do much if he wants to get the Conjurer effect.
Right.
If he wants to play Conjurer, he still pretty much wants to go on Curve this turn. And Catacomb seems to make the most sense because it might let him get enough shadows for his Death Breath.
I think I see reasoning behind just going Shadow Reaper, Prince Catacomb, and Evo Orthrus face. He puts all the stuff onto the board, he gets to push as much damage as he wants. Doesn't have to deal with that carrot.
Oh,
ooh, he's gonna pre-evolve this.
That's interesting.
What's he playing around, I wonder?
I guess Foul Tempest?
It still dies to Foul... Well, it doesn't die to... I mean, yeah. Okay, it plays around like a non-Shadow Foul Tempest, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Still gets dumpstered by Humpty Dumpty Kappa.
I guess Foul Tempest would be pretty good here. He would have to Foul Tempest first. He can't trade the Orthros and then Tempest.
Yeah. Now his opponent needs to evolve the carrot if he wants to Cyclone Blade this. Very interesting stuff.
I guess it just really shows that Scourge wants to just go face in this matchup. If he's going to aggressively evoke Grim Reaper like that.
Yeah, that's probably it. He's not playing around damage, he's just pre-evolving for damage.
Yeah, because he's not taking any value trades, which he could have taken. It makes sense, like the late game, Kawi comes down, and then like Grimnir's, Kawi's could be pretty hard later on.
The first hit that the Shadow Reaper puts in gets +2 on it just because of that pre-evolve, and then next turn he can evolve something that's already on the board.
Yeah.
And just get in like 4 total damage from that setup.
That makes sense because next turn he might have just evolved the Reaper otherwise, the Shadow Reaper.
Who feeds those skeletons to the Shadow Reaper too?
Yeah. That's why the Shadow Reaper Catacombs is like such a strong curve turn.
Well, Hennig
Oh,
gives him all these shadows for
yeah,
death
he's got
stuff.
enough shadows. It's also relevant because 4 or 5 zombies now could trade nicely into the Grimnir.
God,
Whereas,
that's so brutal.
yeah, I was able to been a 4/4 and we just he had to lose the zombie. It
Yeah, your
might
guy's gonna need a Themis to get out of this.
and you might as well trade into the carrot because he has the damage on the Reaper anyways.
Yeah, 7/7, nothing gets over this now.
Yeah, not the turn for Kawi yet.
Gosh, that's so brutal. That's so brutal, the fact that he can't play Kali. He has Death's Breath, but how much does that really help him?
The shadows seem to work out just right too because he had exactly 6, right?
Hmm.
Alright,
Even
so.
if even if Twin Star hadn't traded there, he could have just traded them in himself to get those shadows.
Yeah. Can he get this Reaper through? Oh wait, he's got Ector. Yeah, Ector is it, right? 'Cause
Hmm.
he gets 1 zombie. Yeah. Push push a casual 11 with the Shadow Reaper.
Sugoi doesn't that?
Seems good. Oh, and Japan goes up 2-0.
Mm, good stuff. Just like it's kind of another situation where you see a lot happen because like even if Nephthys tends to be a pretty strong stabilizing deck, uh, that back to back of so you didn't deal with the Shadow Reaper because you couldn't,
Yeah.
and now you definitely can't because Death's Breath on curve, and now you definitely can't survive that because Yakuza right after that. It's just V567 of mid-range Shadowcraft.
He might have not had enough shadows either for like a Foul Tempest. I can't remember what his shadow count was.
Right,
Like
it
it,
was 3 on that turn, I think.
yeah, it was 3 on the turn before the zombies came. The last Death Breath came out.
Yeah.
Uh,
They need to make a Hungering Horde a neutral spell, it seems.
oh my god, that'd be
Just feed all those back into the Shadow Reaper that you still can't answer.
yeah. Oh man, if Hungry Horde was a neutral spell, I'd be really sad being a forest main.
Yeah, absolutely. That would actually murder so many classes.
Yeah.
Actually, that would just murder every class in that game.
Yeah, everyone would just be playing decks. They just play one of play
Yeah,
Reno deck.
Highlander, Reno decks. Yeah.
I think like a, I think one of Scourge's play on evolving the Reaper 1 turn before was pretty heads up. Because playing around the Foul Tempest at 1 turn, and then it just got out of control the next 2 turns when he would evolve it
Hmm.
anyways. Pretty
Yeah,
insane.
I like that because it's an evolution that I don't think every player would have made there, but it was still good. It was like a flexing in the gym kind of evolve.
Yeah. Let's see if I can skip ahead here because it looks like it's going down break for quite a while. Alright. Do you know what you're saying, like in between these matches?
If I could, I can't hear it over the Skype VOD.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rip. Otherwise, I remember I was trying to listen to it on YouTube. It's a little bit hard for me to understand because it's very, very polite. It's like the kind of official TV broadcasting kind of language, which
Oh.
is sometimes harder for me to follow than like anime dialogue. But I can get the gist of things sometimes. I know what they're saying like as they cast the games because they talk pretty simply.
Yeah.
They just kind of say what possibilities there are. Uh, they ask which of these is correct very often when they're thinking about what to play.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So they're more focused on like this, the actual gameplay, like the strategy.
Yeah. I don't think they did this in JCG much, but I know in this one they did a lot of storytelling between the players, but I didn't
That
understand it that much.
that makes sense because it's like a country versus country. More fun to have background stories.
Hmm.
So the next match it looks like it's going to be the Kim Young DDI versus Feigu.
Fuegu. Yeah.
And we saw earlier Feigu, unlike his teammates, brought Dragon Shadow.
Hmm. Actually, remember, I think I watched the second half of this one all the way up until the end of the next one.
Okay. No spoilerinos.
Yeah, I won't. Spoiler: the mask does not come off.
Damn it. I wonder if it's, even his teammates don't even know what his face looks like.
That would be so funny. Like, they actually have never seen the guy's face. It's like, the guy can't really be that old. He's just like a kid wearing a Halloween mask. It's like something you could buy at like at Walmart around about that time of the season.
He has to get the highest. He has to get the highest quality mask if he's going to wear it all the time.
Yeah. Just turn all the players into light novel protagonists. The guy with the mask got transported here from a different world.
I wonder what the story behind his mask is.
Good question. It's like I can't really find it because there's not really English article commentary on Korean Shadowverse players.
And why is it specifically a pumpkin?
Right. Is it like the only thing he could find? Did he get to choose?
It's like his joint. Yeah, it's like he just had it in his basement.
Got a little like cool top hat with it. It's like the guy looks like an Overwatch skin. Like, come on.
Alright. So this is match point for Japan. You just have to win this one. And then they'll be up 3-0, so there'll be no way Korea could come back from that. I wonder how they determine the MVP on their team. Or in the entire match. Like, I understand, like, for, like, League of Legends and stuff, it makes sense for MVPs, but... Especially in best of 3, like, it's going to be multiple people going 2-0.
I feel like that's so difficult to really tell because, like, as you said, in a MOBA, it's easy to tell when someone's made like this really cool series of contributions. In a card game, it's like I can't help but kind of like smirk at the idea of like a card game play of the game kind of thing. Let's go back to when he played Yaktar on 7, just like crowd roaring. That's maybe MVP is like if a player got a very important or decisive victory off, or like an impressive looking one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so Kim Young's hands doesn't seem that bad. Go Oracle, Sybil. Having the Salamander's Breast is good too, especially against Shadow. It's good clears. So turn 2 for Kim Young DDI. Do you play the left Dragon Oracle or the right Dragon Oracle? That's the play he must be thinking of.
Yeah. One on my left hand, the one on my right hand. He actually looks like he's trying to figure it out with his hands. Like, no, I think he's life coaching him. He's like trying to think about like what he's gonna be doing in the next few turns.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, his turn 4 is probably going to be Dragon Oracle again, but I guess he's thinking like turn like 2-3 turns ahead. Oh, he was thinking of using the Salamander's Breast this turn. Interesting. I guess he doesn't really need to use Dragon Oracle this turn because he could use 3 into 5. So the second one, how is he just be floating? Ooh, Fake is playing the play for Necromancer.
Hey,
Haven't seen
my
that guy
boy
in a long time.
drawing her on curve on turn 4 going first feels bad, man.
Did you just play it? No, you can wait next turn and you can use the Soul Conversion on the ghosts, right?
You know the thing wait, actually, that's so sick. Playful Necromancer kills an evolved Sybil from full health. That is so sick.
Yeah, but you lose the play for Necromancer as well.
You do. You lose the full card, but not many cards I think single-handedly can evolve into the 6/7 body. That's like the only one I can think
survive.
of, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dragon Warrior can kill it actually, but I think that's like the only other card like it.
Oh, he actually decided to use the Soul Conversion this turn. Wants to hold on to Illyrio.
Yeah, makes sense.
Conveniently, he drew. Do you like playing Cerberus on 5 a lot of times? Because I feel like Cerberus on 6 sometimes is better.
Yeah. Cerberus on 6 can come out as like a supersized Orthrus.
Oh, he's going aggressive here. Delirium. I guess I wouldn't mind just playing the Cerberus now, just so you could get the 2 spells. Yeah. He's got Soul Squasher in hand, which is pretty nice. He gets to use it, he's got 4 Necro already.
Yeah, I guess I like the tempo Cerberus when like you don't have anything else to do. Just because a way that I've always seen Cerberus is like, imagine playing a Sage Commander, but you can delay the buff effect and just like gain it as a spell in your hand.
It's just
So your
constantly
opponent
a
has to play
threat.
around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, if he trades, yo, is this the moment for Playful Necromancer?
It looks pretty good, but
Oh, that's so.
but you don't have
probably
to.
not his best option, man.
Like you're using the evil point just to keep your 2 skeletons up.
It's like the one time that she's like super good, and I think anything else is just as good as her.
You can also just drop like triple 2 drops and set up
Yeah,
your
absolutely. Yeah.
and then you can set
That's
up
way
your
better.
Ector turn, right?
Yeah, that's like 50 million times better. Still, like it feels so bad. It's like its perfect turn is still not as good as just slamming down Shadow Reaper setup.
Yep. I feel like this Necromancer is just coming down to 4-3. This game, if it ever comes down, it might not even come down this game.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, even if he doesn't want to use the Soul Squasher, you can play this, double trade, Lyrial, and just kind of leave it at that.
Okay, so he's not using Soul Squasher. It makes sense. Like the Soul Squasher seems like kind of a waste since the followers are at 1 house anyways. Okay.
Who's gonna tempo play it? Desert Rider boys.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't mind this. Like forcing the triple 2 drops seems kind of forced because the Ector you're going to get all the zombies anyways.
Yeah. This is the part where he gets hit by the conflagration.
Oh my god. What an OG card. Oh, they're hyped about the Israfil.
Oh yeah. Is he able to sock wheel it out?
No.
Oh, he was able
Wait,
to.
he was able to. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't kill.
Yeah, all it does is kill Desert Rider.
Yeah. This is fine too because he gets the life anyways.
Yeah.
You can wait for
Soul
the
Splasher
SSO.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Soul
Is it
Splasher,
Ector turn?
second Cerberus maybe? Actually, yeah, Ector is pretty amazing here too.
Could be a bit maybe he's afraid of like a clear like a lightning blast of Bahamut.
Yeah.
He can use Ector to refill.
Just Soul Splasher and commit, like, maybe get a Coco damage in there.
Yep. That. If he does that, he can't play the Cerberus. If he does Soul Squasher and Coco, he would have 4
Yeah.
here to just play Lyrial.
Yeah. If he goes for Cerberus, I think I understand that really well too. Hand is still pretty medium-sized, doesn't need to worry about any kind of clutter.
I wonder if he's playing Phantom Howl in his deck, because that could make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He gets to push 7. This might be the time where Dragon starts to stabilize though. Lightning Blast comes down here. Next turn he might be able to go Saha, Quill into Israfil. Oh, he has to do a Grimnir too. Grimnir's not coming down this turn, of course, but...
Yeah, after he deals with this board, Grimnir is helpful for just clearing anything else that comes out.
Yeah, Grimnir's like a good answer for the refill that FAU might try to put out.
If anything, he's probably just thinking now. This man is like... Is he typing into like an air keyboard right there? Like... Like, that guy is the most thinking emoji man.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure on him too because his team is down 0-2, so he has to win. Otherwise, their team's just done.
Yeah, this man's gonna have to like Jimmy Neutron brain blast through these turns. I don't think he's not in really a bad position.
Yeah, how much life is he at? 12. Yeah, he's in a pretty good spot, I think, right now, especially because he's starting to stabilize.
Yeah, I'll try to commit their health to memory just because like they really like to zoom in on that hand over their face, and it just covers up their play points in life. Like,
Yeah, I
you
can't
can't see that anywhere else.
forget how much play points they have specifically. So here he could go for the set up the Cerberus and the Reaper. He could also go triple tooth, but I imagine he wants to hold on to the Soul Squasher.
Mm. It's really like the kind of awkward situation here. This is where this matchup can get kind of interesting. Is your opponent has an answer for everything you play, but your hand's not small, so how do you actually try to just get that one attacker to get through?
Yeah, for the Cocos. I actually wouldn't mind if he went for the triple tooth because on next turn he'll have 9 play points. So he could play Cerberus plus 4 spells, and then he has the extra body to get his Reaper up there if he had went for triple tooth. But
Yeah.
if he holds the Soul Squasher, it could get over maybe like a evil Rahab or something.
I'm still trying to figure out what Kim Young is like.
He's still calculating.
What is he doing? Like, this man's like hacking the main data frame of like the RNG fibers of reality right now.
Ooh, that's a nice draw.
Oh god. I was just thinking if he went for the Shadow Reaper, evolving it could get over the Israfel, but it just completely gets bodied by like Bahamut or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I think Bahamut's good this turn, right?
This guy just shut down for a second, he just like fell in his arm. Like, it's his turn and he's still just doing this. Oh my jeez, he looks so invested. Like
I guess he's thinking like, what's the highest win rate
what
play?
yeah,
But
what
like,
gives me the highest possible chance of winning as quickly
I
as
feel
possible.
like all these plays just kind of just wins for him.
Yeah, every play is so massive here. You have monster combos with Zell. Anything you want with Zell, really. You got Grimnir, pushes 4 damage face, clears the board. Bahamut, like, sure you have different options, and selecting each one of them could be important. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to really think that hard about it. Like, you play them. You have time to play them all out. So this is probably the least important time.
I'm actually a bit more surprised he went for this line of play rather than just Bahamut, because he could.
He had the Evo point. He could have
Yeah, he
sent
had the
that
Evo.
face with like Sahikuil Zell. Zell could
Yeah.
have cleared. I think that for all like the calculation this guy has done, that was probably one of the easiest things to play around he could have possibly gone for.
Yeah, because Evil in the Israfel this turn to lead it up to the Soul Squasher. If he had just dropped Bahamut, there's no way that Shadow could kill Bahamut at this stage of the game.
Which that makes a good point. He's probably afraid of Phantom Hell. Okay, yeah, I see that
Phantom Hell.
actually. He saw his opponent played 2 Cerberuses. He knows Phantom Hell.
Oh
does
yeah,
15
that's
damage.
true.
Yeah, so he heals. That's a good
Makes
call.
sense. That was the only way he could heal too. I guess he could have also went for
Oh wait, it's 13 damage because he did. Wait, no, yeah, it's 15 damage. He has the Evo.
yeah.
My bad.
He could have also went for the Grimnir. Would Grimnir let him survive? But the Israfel puts a 10-10 on the board. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Now this is actually a puzzle for him. There's no way you can actually clear this board, but I think Grimnir is still a pretty simple option here. If you're really so afraid of taking damage. Like look at that. He throws in the evolve into the deal like a coupon. Just play the Grimnir right now. Come on.
Yeah, that's
He
actually
could go for
surprising, huh? What does the Evo and the Reaper do? I guess plays around Salamanders?
Yeah, plays around Salamander, plays around another Israfel coming out.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Sahikuil.
Okay, that makes sense. Because if the Reaper survives, it gets really big.
Yeah.
And
I think the reason he evolves there also is if he doesn't play Phantom Hell on this list, then he might just feel like I'm actually so screwed right now is probably what he was thinking. It's like I have to push this
Just all
damage,
in.
so I might as well just play around any like 2 damage removal that could possibly hit this.
Yeah, that makes sense. If for the looks of it, it doesn't seem like he does play Phantom Hell.
Yeah.
He's just like all in here. He plays around certain removals. He can't play around Lightning Blast ever anymore.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna throw this in, do a half play around, and if my opponent has something that still gets over it, then I'm bottom right. Like, I'll take it.
So if everything else dies, it would go up to 5, 7. He would still be one off, right?
Hmm.
If he trades the 2 skeletons that come off the Soul Squasher and the Catacomb,
Yeah.
assuming the other 2 die.
What's for Bahamut? Rather than Grimnir here. These skeletons, he knows he's taking 5 more damage. That's pretty straightforward.
He's just praying at this point.
Zombie part.
But there's nothing he dies to right now.
I think this guy's actually pretty bottom right. Because, like, he can try to fill the board with zombies, but Grimnir will push the way through them for Bahamut. It's not lethal yet, but puts him down to 1.
Yeah, I don't. So he pushes 3, 5, 7 this turn. So he needs 5 more damage. So the only way he has to top deck. He would have to top deck his Phantom Hell if he has it. But actually no, because the Grimnir stops it with the ward.
Yeah, he's kind of backed into a corner here.
He could hold on to the zombie party this turn if he does play Phantom Hell, so he could get over Grimnir. Because the zombie party wasn't really due. Just you put 2 zombies on the board.
Right, get those flanking skeletons, that extra attack. Ooh, sending him all face.
Oh yeah, makes sense. I don't think he'll play the zombie party then if he's going all face. He might have always traded. Oh, I wish we had the deck list, because if he had Phantom Hell, it would make sense, I guess, to hold on to it.
Yeah, it'd make a lot of sense. Ooh, he does not play it.
Because the extra zombies don't really do much. Like, if 1 clear comes out, it doesn't do anything anyways. So you might as well give him the out.
Wait. Actually, Phantom Howl still wins the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why he keeps the zombie party here.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you were saying that, but it didn't even occur to me. And he draws a Skull Beast. Bottom right, buddy.
I guess he does have the Phantom Howl then, because he was praying for it.
Yeah, definitely. He actually, like, that was a really elegant setup for it. But he, unlike Kim Young DD here, was not hacking the life fibers RNG. He was just kind of sitting there doing nothing with his physical form. And just gets that Genesis Dragon to the face.
Yep. Yeah, that actually got pretty close. Was there a way he could have got a little more damage in that game to face?
Good question.
Because Dragon did heal a lot.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he shouldn't have evolved the Shadow Reaper, and then he'd still have that evo point for a skeleton. Then he'd need 3 more damage face, though, so maybe there was something missed earlier in the game, too.
Yeah, even if he saved the evo, still wouldn't have been enough. Alright, so that was game 1, right? So for Kim. So he's got his Shadow left. The casters probably have the deck list though. I'm pretty sure.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think I remember watching actually near the end of that game when he was needed to get that howl off the top. The casters were like, how do? He's like, it's gotta be howl.
How would you feel if he had drawn the howl there? Would you feel bad for the Korean player?
You know, I don't think I would have felt bad for anything. It's like
he did set it up nicely.
Keeping the zombie party in hand was actually really good. I'd say if he drew it, then he was rewarded a bit more than he needed to be rewarded for it, but still, it would have been sick. I don't think they played 3 copies of it even.
No,
though, so
I don't think you could.
Unlikely.
I don't think you could fit 3. I think at most you could put 2. I don't know if you would bother playing 1.
Some people play like a single copy, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah, because if you're playing it as a single copy, when are you ever drawing it when you want it?
Because I remember like old Aggro Shadow, we just straight up ran 3 of those. We didn't have a 4 drop.
I mean, that was your
Like,
win
back in the
con. You
days.
just try to win on turn 6.
Yeah.
Gets
Back in the old days of Nom, it's like we didn't have a 4-drop in Shadowcraft.
yeah.
These spoiled kids nowadays, we had Phantom Howl and Guilty Courier. Like,
Oh my god. And I played Keen Enchantment in my aggro
I
list.
actually stole that idea. Like, I played Aggro Shadow after the actual expansion hit,
Yeah.
and I just straight up threw in 3 Keen enchantments because of Prince Catacomb.
Oh,
It
okay.
was amazing, and I think it's actually still amazing right now. You
Really?
have like 100% go first win rate with that, but you concede every game you go second, is what I learned.
It's built more aggressive. You play like
Yeah.
3. Okay.
1-drop, 2-drop, Prince Catacomb on turn 3, turn 4, double Keen enchantment. Like,
Oh my god.
it's pretty funny.
I
It
guess
works
you're
out, but I
almost
was
guaranteed a
short.
board on turn 4 if you went first with the
Yeah.
curve. Alright,
Probably
V's.
not possible anymore with
Yeah.
Prince to 4.
Oh yeah, true. And V's switched it up and queued in the dragon. Didn't want to have the shadow mirror yet.
Oh,
But he
interesting.
has to deal with it later if he wins.
I wonder if they consider Dragon to be a fair shadow mirror in Japan. Is like,
Maybe. It seems pretty good. Also myself when I'm playing ladder, if I'm playing dragon, I kind of feel a bit happy when I see a shadow. Like I don't feel obviously I don't feel super happy when I play shadow,
yeah,
but like I don't feel
that
as
is
bad.
impossible.
Yeah. Okay, let's see ramp here. He doesn't have to ramp because he has a Sybil. Sybil will ramp for him next turn, right? But he could curve it with the salamander. And then
Always got options.
the Sybil will give him the heal, but I don't think the heal is important right now.
Yeah, as you're saying, ramping right now with this hand, not too important. If he wants to try to get clears on Prince Catacomb, he may be thinking, even if I get Breath of Salamander, I have to play both of them to clear one Prince Catacomb effect.
Yeah. So does he trade as much as possible? Yeah. Alright, yeah, because if he catacombs, then there's no more last word effects on the board. He could drop a get that Reaper game buffed up. How many play points does he have? 4?
Yeah, 4 in the Evo is ready.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so brutal. He can draw if he wants to. Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. When else would he get a chance to soul convert? Does he pre-evo it? Oh, he does. I guess this makes sense.
This is just what they do.
Yeah, because then next turn he could evolve something else to trade, and then he could push the 6. Does that make sense?
It's like you get to... If you could Evo something for tempo and then Evo something face on the same turn, I guess that's effectively the same thing as what pre-Evoing these Reapers like this does.
Yeah. I think only pre-Evoing Reapers make sense because they have the ambush effect.
Yeah, if it was anything else, you get so punished for that.
Yeah.
Like, Sybil would just walk up on it like, kid, what's your name? Like, get out of here.
Yeah. I think you could play the Sybil doesn't really do much. I guess the ramp. I guess he's debating if he wants to play the Draconic Fervor instead. But does he value having a body on the board?
He might be afraid to have a body on the board. Let his opponent Evo into it, trade, get a 7/7, and then he never kills it.
Yeah, even the Salamander doesn't get through it. It's gonna be awkward next turn unless he picks up like a Blazing Breath. Yeah, just kind of fervor into Blazing Breath. But he's gonna go for the Sybil here. Did we lose Mofu? Rip. Bible Thump. Alright, so how's he going to get through this Sybil? He's got a couple ways. The second Reaper picked up. He could go for the second Reaper plus the Shadow Beast plus the Lyrio is what I'm seeing. He evolves the Lyrio to trade into the Sybil. Both his Reapers start growing. Pushes 7 this turn. Hold on here. Let me just call back Mofu. Yo.
Yo.
Oh, yeah, I have to. Oh, this is a pretty good turn here for Kim Young. Oh, he didn't go for the second Shadow Reaper play. Instead, plays the Bones. I guess this is fine.
Oh gosh, what did I miss? This is looking pretty bad for him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. He's got an Ouroboros. Everything's fine. Nobody panic.
Yeah, the Ouroboros came in pretty clutch. I always had no answer to that Reaper.
He can do anything he wants in the Ouroboros, still kills it, that 10 damage from evolving it.
Unfortunately, he doesn't get to keep the Ouroboros on the board, though. It just goes back to his hand.
Yeah.
Could be enough, though. The play I was thinking that Kim could have done was go for the second Reaper and second Reaper, Lyrio, and Shadow Beast instead of going for the bonus Chimera. I don't know if that would have been a bit better because he could get his second Reaper growing while having 2 other followers on the board.
Mm-hmm. I just noticed that that man just played his turn 5 and we're staring at like a turn 8 here. Yeah, I would have liked that option a lot though. Strong setup. If you have less resources than your opponent to play with, you might as well just send it all at their face.
Yeah. He might miss his chance on getting the Reaper to grow, especially as Dragon gets the ramp going. When they get turn 10 and have Lightning Blast and Bahamut available. This Ouroboros might help Feyu a lot in stabilizing, with the 3 damage ping coming on the board and 3 health gain when it dies.
Mm-hmm. Pretty useful. I mean, the opponent's not really at a turn where they can, or at least Kim Young doesn't really have a hand that like deals with that, because he knows like there's an Ouroboros, so I'm gonna have to probably start killing it every turn, but my hand just doesn't have the options for it. So if anything, you can try to build a board with Death's Breath here, but still he's pretty far away from winning.
I wouldn't mind the Death's Breath play this turn. The Reaper seems a bit weak. If he plays the Reaper this turn, he might pre-evolve it to play around the Breath, because the turn before Dragon's Breath or Bahamut could come down. And then he could possibly protect the Reaper again on turn 7 with his Death Breath.
Yeah, I'd say if he wants to kind of just build a board here, nothing better in his hand than the Death's Breath.
Yeah, that's what he's going for, it seems. He's going to evolve the Bones Chimera too, just to get that damage in. I guess if the Bones Chimera hits face twice, then it's worth it.
Yeah. Full board of 3 health minions. There's like nothing really clears this out other than getting that Grimnir out on 10, but
yeah,
that off.
It's a bit awkward this turn. He could. So he's only playing 1 card this turn, that means, and I guess he might as well play the Ouroboros, and he could evolve the Ouroboros so he could kill off two followers. I guess like 2 zombies. No, you would
say something.
Would you kill the zombie or the Bones Chimera? Because if you want to play Grimnir next turn,
I'd say I would go back in time, and have aimed the Ouroboros not at face but at the Bone Chimera maybe.
Oh, on the previous turn, yeah.
Yeah, because maybe he wouldn't have been able to evolve face so securely if he just evoed like a skeleton face. I guess you could just aim a Breath of Salamander at that, kill the other skeleton. Wouldn't be a solid answer to this, but you don't really have anything that can clear all this other than like conflagration.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
Fafnir would fail to clear this.
The good thing with Grimnir is that you don't need to have an Evo point, so he could use an Evo here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going for the Sybil instead. I guess using the Sybil kind of forces the trade because it's always threatening that +3 life every turn if you don't kill it.
Yeah. And at this point, I think he kind of has to try to throw that breath at the Bone Chimera, pop it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he doesn't throw it at the Chimera.
Interesting.
I was thinking he wants to play Grimnir next turn for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it saves more life this turn by killing off the zombie instead of the Chimera.
Mm-hmm. That could be a very real consideration.
Although it's just one point different because the Chimera summons 2 bones, and you're taking 2 off the zombie. So yeah, it's just one difference.
If he wants to play the Orthrus this turn, I think he plays it right now because he wants to try to roll it onto the zombie, then trade in the Bone Chimera.
Mm-hmm.
Trades in the Bone Chimera first, it has a chance to just not get value off to attack.
Yeah, it didn't trade a bit off. Might as well take the 50-50 here. He could also play the Conjurers this turn because the Conjurers get the Ghosts out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then that way he could just trade the Bone Chimera in with it, with the 2 Ghosts.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's on his. He has to have at least 6 play points right now. I see like a little curved bottom of a 7 maybe. So I think
he's at
after
7.
he does that, yeah, after he does that, he can. Well, he can, but he shouldn't. Try to set up a Shadow Reaper, just because the Grimnir is probably going to come down in response to whatever he does.
Mm-hmm. Can you really play around Grimnir at this point? It sounds like.
Can you really play around Grimnir at any point?
Can you play around any board clear at all? Actually, at this point.
Yeah, that's like this is gonna get philosophical. Can you play around Dragoncraft in general? Thinking emoji.
Oh, he's going all face.
So this is how he plays around it. Yeah, he just doesn't. He goes in.
Wait, but if he trades
And
like,
just
'cause
buries his face in his hands.
he could have gave.
Falls.
The thing with that, like he pushes 3 damage to face when he could trade into Sybil, but Sybil's going to heal him for 3 anyways. So kind of like he did nothing. It's kind of like when you push 2 damage to face when your opponent has a Unica and just heals up when you could just trade 2 damage into it.
Yeah, it's like it's a very real difference too. It's like that's a 6/3 that's now on board after you just full cleared.
It opens up the chance for you to get punished.
So what's he really setting up there with that? I mean, I guess after he passed his turn from hitting face, the dude he put his hands in his face and just fell forward. It's like I can't even read his emotions while he's trying to do with these plays.
Maybe he had second thoughts after he made the play.
Yeah, or maybe he meant to trade the Bone Chimera but just forgot to while executing it.
just too focused on going face.
Yeah, the smork took him over.
Well, it looks like Jance's Dragon is gonna close out the game here. Jance's Dragon has won the Idle games too. Been doing a lot of work.
I'd say like not really many storms are going to be more effective than the Genesis Dragon. Just so much damage locked onto one card. It's like a solid third of someone's health.
Yeah, Dragon actually has quite a lot of burst potential with the Zealots and the big storms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to tie the series up 1-1 between Kim and Feiyu. So Feiyu still has his Shadow, I believe, so it's going to be a Shadow Mirror. And they're both playing the mid-range style of Shadow. Slightly different list, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think the main differences in mid-range Shadow lists just tend to be some people like the Phantom Howl, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it.
Yeah, there's a couple of flex spots, right? It's like in the 4 area, or yeah, I think that's mainly it. The 4s, or maybe some people switch out certain 2-drops.
Mm-hmm. It's like we saw the Dark Conjurer there, and I don't think we ever see that in like American tournaments.
Oh, okay. What do people play in NA?
I'd say it's just the Lyrials, and they just kind of call it at that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I usually play one extra 2-drop.
Lyrials, Soul Squashers, sometimes Unica, but I don't remember seeing Conjurer much. I don't think people play Mummy anymore.
Yeah, well, Mummy in mid-range is a bit expensive for the Necro, I think.
Because you use the Soul Squashers, the Death Breaths, the Reactors.
Yeah. And sometimes you wish you had more Necro.
Mm-hmm.
Or more Shadows.
Angel of the Word too, I think.
Angel of the
Word. Just cut 2-drop for Angel of the Word.
Oh, interesting. I guess, yeah, the 3 slots is also flex or preference because you could play Bone Chimera or you could play Angel of Word. I guess everyone plays Grimnir.
Real men play Skeleton Knight.
Skeleton Knight, yeah. I think I tried all the different options for 3s and 2s before.
That guy's just pounding at his leg now. This is the most emotional player I've seen all day.
praying for those curves. And Fade's got the
I used
Spark
to
Toy
like
as well.
Skeleton. Oh yeah, Spark Toy Sergeant. Yeah, a lot of people play that.
Yeah.
I always forget he exists
Uh,
because his effect is so modest.
well, I think in my current list I play in Spark Twice.
Yeah,
But
he's a good card. I think maybe my favorite 3-drop in most decks is Angel of the Word, just because I like that kind of control she gives you.
yeah, the early game pings could be relevant, especially if people greed trade. They're 2/2 into a 1/2, and then you just Angel Word them.
Yeah,
That's good.
really useful versus Grimnir.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. It'll let you get through the 2/3. I think Faye's mid shadows is probably the most different because he's got Attendant of Knights as well.
Yeah, the attendance really flipped me out a little bit because he doesn't play Ledger or anything. He's just straight up going in with it. He wants to play it into Orthrus and just hit face until his opponent has to answer it.
Yeah, I guess that's the logic behind it. He's playing a lot of 3-drops though because he's playing the Bone Chimeras as well.
Yeah, it's like you play that card and usually people will probably ask you, it's like, well, how do you make it die? Like, how do you sack it? It's like I don't do that. My opponent kills it. I make him.
You could also just evolve it so it forces them to trade it as well.
Yeah, the good old instant win take 2 strat.
So does he go for the Bone Chimera or the Knight of the Attendant? I feel like the Knight of the Attendant doesn't do anything for a few turns, so you might as well go for the Bones.
Yeah, get some more trading power off of this.
Yeah. Especially in this matchup where it's all about board control, right?
Mm-hmm. It's also easier for the skeletons to die, give them some more shadows for the Soul Squasher.
Yeah. I have seen this matchup swing quite a lot, like especially because both decks have the ability to just summon like 3 zombies with 1 card, or top deck in each turn. There's so many swing possibilities.
Lots of board flip effects.
Yeah.
Usually I see it happen in the favor of the first turn player, just because, get to Death Breath first, the opponent's Death Breath comes out, then you play Aktar first and yours blows theirs out.
Yeah.
Pretty similar board state.
Yeah, it looks pretty much the same now. I do like the Bone Chimera over the Catacombs this turn though. There's the Phantom Howl. So he can go for he's got that turn 6 11 damage stream that most aggro shadow players enjoy.
Yeah, and he's just right on top of it. Could go Attendant of Night, not big impact, but this is like the last turn, or one of the last turns where he gets to play slowly, because his opponent's just going to start, like, Kim Young's hand is going to just start revving it up next turn.
Mm-hmm. Does he trade these bones in? There's not much point in trading, right? Might as well just go for the 1 damage.
Yeah, I think if he had any incentive to do so, it would be Prince Catacomb, but there's no real point in it here. He increases the amount of damage his opponent deals and doesn't gain anything for it.
Yeah. Yeah, he has no shadows to play Phantom Howl this turn, so he could. I guess if he really wanted a hard trade, he could trade the bones in, and then he plays Phantom Howl and trade the 2 skeletons in, and he's left with 2 1/1s. But I don't know if that would be worth it.
It's very interesting that he did make that trade. I don't think that makes any difference to Kim Young here. He's probably happy just to not have to, like, he gets to send that 2 damage face instead of trading himself.
Yeah.
If he wanted to trade into playing Catacomb here.
Yeah, because now he could Catacomb go face, or he could trade into the skeletons, and then he has the 2 skeletons respawn.
Yeah.
I think for Feiyu, if he pushed the 1 damage face, Kim Young probably would have used his turn to just trade anyways, then Catacomb, if he went for that play.
Yeah.
But this also gives Kim Young the option to go for what we see here, the Shadow Reaper. And
Monster Shadow Reaper too, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a really strong turn for him.
Yeah, rare footage, but maybe another thing about Dark Conjurer, actually that's so smart now that I noticed this, is Dark Conjurer gives you a little bit more of a boost if you're going second than first in the mirror. Just because of a turn like that, you just get to delete a skeleton because you went second.
Yeah.
And that's an advantage that you don't really often have in this kind of matchup, so the card that's better going second.
I guess it's really similar to Lyria, right? Because you get that 1 ping. Lyria is slightly easier to play as a card, but Conjure just kind of gives you a doubling up on that option.
Yeah, and if you play like Lyrial and Conjurer going second, you can do it on turn 4. You can guarantee kill something and its skeleton.
Oh yeah, and you get 2 pings, right?
Yeah, I like Conjurer a lot. It's a smart deck. I'm just glad that Conjurer doesn't require Necromancy to do her effect.
Yeah. It's a bit awkward
Ooh.
sometimes when you have to evo a minion on your board that you don't want to.
Uh-huh. The boy's
Ooh.
going in here with the Attendant of Night.
Yeah. I kind of makes sense because he has the Cerberus in his hand. Cerberus Phantom Hell combo.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna push as much damage as he can here and say, you know, maybe you had a good turn, you got good tricks, but I did go first, so I'm going to push it as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's all going at your face. I have combo.
And
Not impossible for
Kimmy doesn't really have an answer to deal with the Attendant of Night. Just gonna keep smacking him for 3.
Yeah, he'd have to double trade into it to kill the Lich here. And if he doesn't, then another 3 taken to the face. And then one more shot from it after that, and he's in range.
I think this is where the audio goes. What face?
Yeah. It gets worse and worse. Like, I'm glad I can't hear it, actually. I'd say only about, like, a minute of this, and it fixes itself, but, like, the chat went wild about this. It was... If they had a what face emote, it would have been just flooding there.
So yeah, I think Faye you could just go Cerberus and Coco, right?
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that.
He pushes 5 next turn. He pushes 5 again because there's just actually no way that this is Attendant of Night dying.
Yeah, he kills the Shadow Reaper with a pretty good... Well, he could conserve the Evo if he wanted to. Because I think...
Do you... Wait, but that's,
Nah.
that's 9 on the board and 4 just went in the
Nah.
hand. Plus the evil. Seems a bit sketch.
Yeah, never mind. Definitely kills it. I was just thinking, if you conserve that Evo, I think you become very much closer to winning with Phantom Howl, but then I'm like, that's way too much damage, isn't it?
Yeah, you kind of make up for it if your
Or
Attendant of Night attacks twice with the Coco.
Yeah.
So he pushes to 12.
If the Lich survives this next turn, it's like, 'cause he's gonna have to full clear this board if he wants to live.
I guess he's 1 off, right? If the Lich...
Oh, yeah.
Assuming the Attendant of Night survives, but it's not going to survive. The Soul Squasher was actually such a huge draw for Kim Young. Because he had no way of dealing with it otherwise.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have to trade into this Cerberus anymore.
Oh, wait. He doesn't kill the Attendant Knight, was it?
Yeah, I guess what he's just gonna do is... Oh, I thought he was gonna Evo trade into the Lich and kill the...
Yeah, he could have went for the full trade, but I guess this way he doesn't... There's no way he dies. Because he's calculating with the Phantom Howl, right? Because he knows that he's 1 off.
Well, now he's... Now the situation's looking pretty dire. Yeah, you have the Attendant of Night going face for 1 million damage like Albert, but it's getting kind of slow. He has to stop to deal with all this stuff, but Attendant of Night can't trade.
Yeah,
it's
can't
getting
trade.
in the way of Phantom Howl.
You might have to, Faye might just have to use the first Phantom Howl to trade. He could kill off Cerberus and the skeleton that comes with it. And then play a Shadow Beast.
Yeah, could use his Cerberus piece to help trade even further, but he's gonna be in trouble when that Eactor comes down.
Yeah, that would be 3, 5, 7. That would be just lethal if two followers are on the board.
Oof.
So I guess he would have to use the Mimi to kill off the Soul Squasher, and then that would be 1 off. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he pushes 5 with the Attendant Knight. Next turn he pushes another 5, and then he has Phantom Howl again. So that would set him up for lethal.
Yeah, it's a good setup. I think he can win the game off of that, assuming he doesn't run straight into a Death Breath or something next turn. Situation's not bad for him. Kim Young over there just looking like he's praying so hard for something like Death Breath.
Wait.
Killing the skeletons.
Oh yeah, this makes sense. He gets rid of
down to 1 attacker.
Yeah. So he reduces the
like
damage off of Hector. Oh.
What face?
That draw though.
Yeah. that's gonna kill his attacker and stabilize his health. Because the Lich isn't gonna survive past that turn. Just throwing a zombie into it, no one cares. Even just, he could play Actar and still just kill the zombie, push a bunch of damage face. I actually think, yeah, never mind. I think he stabilizes just fine here. It didn't occur to me he still had an Evo point left. So, just kill the Attendant Knight, kill the thing comes out of it, and then the opponent.
Yeah, and then the Ictar comes out next turn and you just win. Well, the zombie party!
Easy zombie party.
I think both players here play really well, but
He was just hoping Kim Young doesn't decide randomly through all his calculations that he
not trade
hey,
into
just
the
go ahead,
Lich.
trade into it, dude. Like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Come on, my man. He's thinking about which zombie to throw in at this point.
Oh wait, he trades the.
You're trading with that, right? Okay, yes.
Wait, but the
Besides,
Soul
he's gonna go as
Swastika
wide
went.
as he can.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, he wants he has the Actar plus that piece from Cerberus. He thinks, this board's probably gonna survive, so might as well just get that in there.
But wouldn't you rather
He's
just
probably
push the 2 damage face and then just trade a zombie in, because the Soul Squasher's got the last words anyways. Or actually, he goes down to 7 if he has like 3 followers on the board. Yeah, that'd be way over. If he had 2 followers
Yeah, I
on
think
the
he has
board.
excessive lethal either way.
Yeah.
Just throw it all face, Kappa. Down to 1 zombie.
Yeah, but he's just coming down and just filling it back up with zombies.
Yeah, and 1 zombie gets to survive, put 6 damage face.
Oh man, he's so happy.
Feels good, man.
It does. It does.
Alright. So this is pretty straightforward. Actar does everything he needs and more. Can trade in zombies in any way. Fegu is out of resources, so pretty clear victory for Timmy Young here.
I think he could even misplay and he'll still win. Even if he drew, Actar wouldn't do anything because he only has 3 Necro.
Yeah. Spent all those shadows on Phantom Howl. And both Phantom Howls were spent trying to clear boards.
Yeah,
which is unfortunately not an effective tactic versus this mid-range shadow.
I guess Desperate will let him survive a turn, but
wow. Man decides to die standing up. Kim Young is like doing a jig over there of victory.
feels good, man.
Agachi Kaz's expression of like,
So you can close out the game. We'll go on to game round 4. So if Korea can win the next match, then they will go into the 8th match. I wonder if the static is off.
Oh yeah, I think it's fixed by now at least.
Yeah. God, here. I guess you can't hear it. The Japanese commentary is pretty good sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you?
I think I may remember vaguely them talking about the players, but for the most part, I feel like they go to focus on the players just because doing analytics on the game in the downtime doesn't really like end up doing that much.
Yeah. I think people are more interested in it's more interested in talking about the players too, rather than just the cards play out.
I'm trying to do the same thing actually and just copy that from them because like a thing that I've kind of been doing in EXG tournaments is there's always a time where you just start rambling about like stats, what's happening in Swiss, and I feel like that's the part of like a school presentation, like a math project or something, where you can talk about it, you can say anything, you can make interesting points, but no one's listening. Like,
Yeah, cause
you could be saying anything and no one cares.
the thing is like it's kind of just facts, right? Because you just say, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Shadow 80% win rate or something like that, or
yeah.
80% brought to the tournaments, and like it's true. Where you
Mhm.
but you can't
That's
really
it.
go on about
I
it.
could tell them that it got no plays because it got banned forever, and like Runecraft is like suddenly the most played with a 70% win rate, and people will still just be like, yeah, Daria high rolls. They can't really teach anyone any new exciting info.
Yeah.
So better than that, more exciting is like, what this guy do today? It's like how these guys been doing, working on new team projects and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta
So,
say, I do envy how well dressed these guys are.
I know it. I like the guy on the right suit.
Yeah, that suit is fresh. That's like Phoenix Wright kind of suit.
All right.
This is such a sick animation. It literally makes me think of like Yu-Gi-Oh! When they're playing polymerization and fuse two monsters together. It's like the blue and red fire.
Yeah, or it's kind of like during animes, like when it goes into commercial break, and it's
Yeah.
like some kind of transition.
Yo,
Oh
it's your
boy,
boy Yao.
yo,
Tell me about
Yao
Yao. Why
and
does he wear
Ma.
the mask?
All right, all right. Yao's hand. I think you want to throw away probably all of them.
Yeah. That is a full mulligan hand if I've ever seen one.
I think this is the first time we're seeing a dragon mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting. I do like watching the dragon mirror.
It's like a DBZ battle, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really do anything to each other in the first like minute of the game. They both just kind of sit there like going next levels of Super Saiyan, just
Literally just chart.
screaming
Yeah. Mao's hand does look pretty solid compared to Yao's hand. Dragon's Breath isn't that fantastic.
Yeah. I think when Overflow goes active, Rowan's hair should turn like spiky and gold.
That'd be sick. Or like,
Like all his emotes change.
just have like a Dragon Ball Z collab in the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did Street Fighter. Come on, we should bring Dragon Ball Z
Dude.
in.
Anything to let me play Master Roshi as like a Haven leader. Ugh. I'd sell my soul for that. And actually, yeah, Trunks would be a pretty dope sword leader. I mean, yeah, if we had Street Fighter, then we can get anything now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like no one really expected Street Fighter to come into Shadowverse.
I laughed for like 5 minutes straight when I saw the announcement. It was just so out there to me.
I didn't think it was real, but it was on the
Me
official
either.
channel, so I had to take it.
I was watching it. I told my friends, and they all told like they didn't believe me for like the straight 10 minutes of me until I showed them the actual video because they said it sounded like way too out there to be real.
Yeah. Street Fighters are like there's nothing really about Street Fighter that's cute.
Yeah. I noticed that these guys are not using the Street Fighter skins at all. I think a player was using Forte earlier. Other than that.
Yeah, have most of them been just using the basic leaders?
Yeah, I think so. I know that these are like special accounts that are given to them for the sake of the tournament to have like every card unlocked or something.
Oh yeah,
That's
makes
why
sense.
they show up as beginner rank.
Yeah.
But like, even then they should probably have the alternate leaders.
Ooh, picks up the Blazing Breath. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Conveniently.
And it's very nice that he gets this far ahead in play
Yeah.
points.
He wrapped up twice. Oh, Yao gets to at least Sibo his turn.
Yeah. So how does Yao see the game? Like, it has to be like see-through eyes, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I put on a mask like that before, I think. Probably not of the same quality, but
doesn't his face get like really sweaty if he's wearing that the whole day?
it must. I like how he tops it off with that top hat, though.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's a mask. The top hat hides his hair.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
It's so weird seeing him like constantly looking down, because otherwise, like I guess like the headsets awkwardly fit in between everything.
Is he looking down? Maybe he's looking at us.
That's true. Oh god, that's horrifying. He could be looking anywhere.
The eyes
And
kind of
it's
look like
just-
he's looking at us.
Yeah.
Oh, this Sibo's actually really annoying to kill. He can't remove it this turn.
Doesn't want to lightning blast it for sure. He knows that, like, I mean, he doesn't know he has an Ouroboros, but he knows that Dex got Ouroboroses.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. Like I feel like sometimes in this matchup, if both players ramped up evenly, like the way you win is like you Zell your Ouroboros like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's like you do it 2 times and that's like one shot the opponent,
Yeah.
assuming it doesn't get warded or something.
'Cause I feel like Bahamut just never goes off in this matchup.
Yeah, the Zell Bahamut combo is like a pretty. Most of the time, it's a pretty over-exaggerated thing. It doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
the
even that
Ouroboros and the
good.
Israfils.
Mm-hmm.
The Ouroboros and the Israfils are actually like the most horrifyingly like high impact stuff.
Is Israfel that good in this matchup?
Maybe not in this matchup, but it can just instant win versus Shadow.
Oh yeah, I guess
10
Shadow.
damage to
Yeah.
the opponent's face. Clear their entire board of skeletons. But that's over. It's actually over within the next 24 hours. Because Zell is getting turned into a 4-drop.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, they're changing him to a 3/4 on 4. But that kills like every combo that
Yeah, you
uses
can't
him.
even combo it with anything.
You can play him next to a
Oh,
Rahab.
he's going for it.
Oh yeah, he is going for it. Wait, does he just straight up throw this in here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no point. Alright, casual 13 damage coming out the face here. Anyone order a Bahamut pizza? Like,
The cast just got really excited when Sahako got picked up.
that's so massive. Guy has a Zeus in his hand. He can just throw in an exact 20.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus. And it curves.
That's so rough.
There's no answer to it either. Because as Yao needs to deal with this board as well, so he's not really thinking about the Zeus coming out. Or he can't really think about it at this point.
Classic answer and die situation.
Yep.
As I say that the Bahamut Zell thing is rare, it's like it just completely runs away with this game.
Yeah. I mean, Ma had such a huge lead in this game because he got a ramp up twice. Yao did get one ramp, but he did come a bit later.
Yep.
So Ma just had the initiative.
You can see him behind his mask just like nodding a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
But that's the thing, like, no one can see his reactions. He's got the
Yeah, he could
serious
be the
poker
most
face.
tilted or the most calm man. You'll never know.
Yeah, he might be more emotional than Kim Young, but we just can't see it right now.
Ma's got that just as planned look. Oh, I get it. He's wearing the mask so that Ma over there can't see his face, so he can't use the death note on him. But yeah, that, I gotta say, that is a pretty silly way for that mirror match to work out. It's like they're just playing things,
Yeah,
they're just ramping up, and then one player just completely, like, drives a truck into his opponent.
I guess that just happens sometimes because whenever I play that matchup, I feel like it goes back and forth a lot, but I never get that kind of
Yeah.
9-10 play.
Just slams into the face for 13 damage. Zeus follow up. It's like, well, that's all I need to see.
Yeah. It's interesting how he chose Zeus over Genesis Dragon. Do you tend to prefer the Genesis Dragon or the Zeus?
I think
Right
most of the time I'm more impressed by Genesis Dragon, just because there's a lot more games where like that 9 damage reach is like that two attack is a lot different.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like playing a Gilgamesh and like something bigger, but I still respect Zeus. If people's lists have Sahagwheel in them, then I think the Zeus makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he was playing Sahagwheel.
Yeah, some people run one of each, and I'm like, that seems cool enough.
Interesting. I'm still not too convinced about playing two, like in a slot where you want 2 copies of something, you play one of each.
Yeah, they have to be really, really similar for that to happen. I think Genesis Dragon and Zeus are just in that range, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say, yeah, I agree more. I'd prefer to just know what I have in that slot and just draw, like, that copy of it at the time.
Oh yeah, I think it's either classes earlier on. They're both playing Haven. No Shadow. Both players are not playing Shadow. That's surprising me more, actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's double Dragon Haven. I think Ma is actually playing Stormhaven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks
I
like
don't
it was
see
a
Hall of
Dogma's.
Dogma.
Yao's like,
Don't see.
is Yao the only player on Team Korea that's not playing Shadow Dragon?
I think that would be the case. Your boy's got an Aegis already.
Yeah, everyone else had the Shadow Dragon lineup. Yeah, the Aegis. It looks. Yeah, he's playing the Control Aegis. Who who would you say is favorite in this matchup?
Um, yeah, that's a good question because I haven't even really checked up on Stormhaven a lot recently. I would say Stormhaven has a chance, but if it misses that window of like having a really fast turns 3 through 6-ish,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of gets to that turn 7 area where it's getting cleared every turn, Aegis Haven has drawn a lot of cards, it's healing every turn, then it becomes heavily Aegis favored.
Okay.
And Test of Strength can be so rough for this because you don't have any burn damage in this Haven deck.
It's interesting he's playing a Themis in his build too.
Mm-hmm.
Is his list?
So,
Do you think his list
yeah,
is like slightly slower? If he's running Themis and
maybe.
stuff.
Slows down for Themis. Makes me wonder. Maybe it's just because he wants to deal with some stuff that he might otherwise not have answers in the deck to. Maybe he doesn't play Tribunals or something and just wants to wipe the board while he has Amulets popping down. I think he wants to go for Grimnir here if he wants the immediate pressure, but going for the bird, pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind the
That's not
Grimnir
whole
here
dogma.
because yeah, the Hollow he could combo that later on maybe like turn 5, and he can't just pushes more damage over the next couple of turns. I think because there's no Cujo this turn.
Yeah.
Do you think Must playing Elena's in his list because he does have the frog cleric.
Actually, yeah, that is very possible. Because I feel like you'd play something different on 2 if you're completely Stormhaven. Like maybe
Yeah.
Luxwing Reno instead.
That would be the more aggressive build. Okay, plays the bird now. Makes sense. Not much else he could do.
Yeah.
I mean the
It's a good
dog.
trade before the cudgel.
He could have played the dog maybe, but doesn't get the effect off.
Yeah. Thankfully, his cudgel's gonna kill this cudgel.
Is it that good though? If he evolves Kojo, because not pushing extra damage, and the Kojo's not trading into something
Yeah,
else,
true.
just getting the banish.
And he probably wants to keep his cudgel just to deal with that area, so
That's true. Yeah.
pretty awkward.
Hmm. I guess if he doesn't kill it though, how's he dealing with it this turn?
Oh, his hand is chilling. Not really giving him anything fast.
Do you just try to set up for? Okay, so he's gonna go for the Kujo. I was thinking like, is there a way you want to set up a turn 6 Zemus? But
Yeah.
probably not, because the bird's
You could just
coming
play
down.
the amulet, lose one bird, and have the other pop afterwards. It wouldn't be too bad. Alright, not many options in this hand that really affect the board. Maybe he still tries to evo this Holy Flame Tiger over the priest. Or no, he's gonna evo another priest?
Yep, looks like it. I mean, this is good. He gets a 4/5. He gets to remove the Kujo for free.
Yeah. The board's pretty big, and
Keeps his
next turn he
tiger.
can Dark John.
Yeah. Do you want Dark John when you have this board? Your board is pretty nice right now.
If he can get a solid trade with Dark John, then maybe. I'd say I like survival Dark Johns just because they're funny, but they're totally unnecessary. They probably will play Judge on something next turn.
Yeah, Judge seems pretty nice. If he finds the target. What does Ma want to do with his bird to go? Do you want Semis? Semis doesn't feel that good.
Yeah, nothing really feels so good right now. His Divine Birdsong's so slow, his Prism Priestess, what does that really get him? Another Divine Birdsong?
Can you wait? Can you like wait a turn? Like maybe set up the bird and then play the priestess's turn, then Themis next turn while the bird's still counting down.
Possible. Could, yeah, maybe could Divine Birdsong, Evo his bird, Hound, try to stave off some damage.
You have to find a way to get some damage in. Because I don't think against Haven you can expect your followers to stay on the board that long.
Yeah, neither yours nor your opponents. So getting these birds to hit face is a big deal. Goes to the Prison Priestess.
Okay.
Sacred Plea.
Oh, he's
Okay,
evolving
so
this.
he does this. And Heavenly
So,
Hound, if he wants to play that next to Sacred Plea, maybe.
whoa.
Maybe he doesn't want to play
Whoa.
the.
Whoa.
What
Whoa.
face?
Whoa.
What face?
Whoa. Wait,
Ma,
and he's not playing the Sacred Plea?
my man, what was that turn?
Yeah, I was like looked up on him, give him that.
Yeah, I was like, like
That was an interesting
that.
play. So you don't want the extra 2 health on the ward.
I think no matter how I break down that turn, that looked like a little bit of a disaster.
Was he roping? Did we see the rope
That
on this client?
maybe he was roping, trying to just play it in as quickly as possible, get that trade, but that
Because he did think about the
no,
turn quite a while, but I'm
it's
surprised he
pretty
didn't
much
play the plea either, because he had the play point.
must have been roped, I guess.
I think he had to get a rope because otherwise he'd be able to play a second plea here.
He wanted to get that play out. So that's gonna be pretty rough for him. I mean, this is coming up to Aegis time, like Aegis o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh heavens, look at the time.
Oh Havens, look at that time.
Yeah, guy definitely roped. There's no way that he thought about and then decided, or just if that wasn't a rope, then the man was like probably closing his eyes and clicking randomly on the screen. Like
Yeah,
that had to. No, rip. It's so rough
because
because you can see how behind he gets because of this.
it's definitely a habit where you trade first, but then you play the card because you don't want to just
Yeah.
leave something on the board and not trade when you should have.
Yeah, especially I think Hearthstone players do that a lot
Yeah,
because
I would have the habit of trading first.
yeah, there's more like on play effects rather than like other things.
Hmm. And if he plays a card from his hand first, it's probably a longer animation. I don't know.
Yeah. Even like Magic the Gathering players like to go into combat step before they play cards in like main phase 2, just
Yeah.
to kind of give their opponent a little bit of an emotional roller coaster on how they want to block.
Oh,
So
it's
good
true.
habits.
That's true. Even in Yu-Gi-Oh, you just like play your cards on main phase too.
Battle phase. We going.
But there's some strategy behind that because there's like effects that could blow up your back row.
Yeah.
But
I
anyways,
wish this game had a back row. How sick would that be?
that would be an interesting. Like you put your amulets and stuff in your
Amulets in,
back
yeah.
row, and then you play your followers in the front row. That'd be interesting. Because
You could have like trap card amulets.
Shadowverse has such a limited board space.
Yeah. They'd probably be too small for that, just because they still want to keep it on phone resolution and
Yeah.
not make the cards too small.
But there's also like cards that just keep spamming followers if you have board space, right? So if you had a larger board space, that could be a problem.
Hmm. I kind of wish we could get a card that's like Mystical Space Typhoon, but it's like reverse execution. It's like 3 mana to kill an amulet, but then it enhances 5 to become normal execution kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be yeah. You never know, that card might come out in the future.
Yeah. If they ever make more like strong, sturdy amulets that stay on the board that aren't the like the useless swordcraft amulets we get every expansion.
This is awkward. He doesn't have enough mana to play 2/4.
God, after seeing the turn where he roped, it's like I'm a little checked out because the Aegis is gonna just slam down on him, and then
Yeah.
after losing that much speed on that turn, it's like you can't really come back from that.
What an ideal Aegis turn.
Hmm.
Alright, so here's a trivia. If you have Tribunal on the board and your opponent has like right now, if he plays a Tribunal, could the Tribunal RNG hit
Yep.
the Aegis?
Yep, I
And do
learned this the
nothing?
hard way.
Oh,
I
okay.
learned this the hard way. One time I was playing an Earthright rune deck versus this, and I was like, maybe my Professor of Taboos effect is not gonna hit Aegis because it can't, and it always hits his other thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the phase, he consumed an Earthright, and all I saw was a little bubble. And basically I just saw Aegis just kind of like flip me off, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, lesson learned." Maybe next expansion we're gonna see some kind of card that reduces something's health by a
Attack.
direct amount.
Oh yeah. Health or
Get that?
attack.
Yeah.
We need
More
an answer.
Kaguya kind of effects.
Yeah.
I mean, Aegis would not be a problem whatsoever if there were a class. Maybe not. Maybe like hopefully not Haven. Maybe not Haven. but a class that had like a Eldor Peacekeeper kind of effect.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, what class would that suit? Maybe sword.
Maybe sword.
I want to say sword, but I'm just thinking of paladin at the same time, so it's like
Yeah.
the same thing.
It's like if I guess like I don't know, a lot of card games kind of associate like knights and swords with like law and detainment, and they
That's
kind of
true.
have those effects. But
Yeah.
Swordcraft doesn't really have that. It doesn't have any jailers kind of thing. It just has a bunch of knights.
True. I mean, I can see
Or
it as like
forest
I can see it as like would it be an officer?
Yeah, it would fit in forest because like they already have entangling vines, dryad, a bunch of
Oh yeah,
-1
that's true.
effects.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, they
you
have
could.
Woodkin Curse too.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you make an Aegis at one house though, it's not really doing anything.
Yeah. Combo Pegasus Elf into a -1/-1 effect. Just to kill one card in one matchup. That would be pretty sick.
What was the score at right now? That was the first game, right?
Yeah, I think so. That would mean
No, I think
wait, no.
he
He got destroyed by the dragon.
yeah, the
mirror.
dragon. So it's 1-1. Okay.
Yeah. The dragon mirror happened so fast I forgot it happened.
So Korea needs to win this next game to try to reach into the ace match. I'm not going to look at the timelines to spoil.
I think it was actually around this point that I went to go sleep or do something else. So the rest of this becomes a surprise to me.
It was during your evening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you in classes for the summer?
Yes, just because in Japan's like school schedule, I still have classes all the way until August. They have like a very moved over thing where classes started in like it was like a lot later. They started in April and they end in August, and then after that we are on break until like October.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you get like all September.
Yeah, I would, but I'm going back to America in August.
Oh.
So I'm literally finishing the year, flying back, and I have like
and then school
6
starts
days.
again.
Yeah, before school starts. It's all chill though. It's like I don't mind being in classes for like a year straight.
How long were you in Japan for?
It's like about 11 months exactly.
Oh, okay, that's pretty nice.
I got a 5-month long summer break before I went here, so like it doesn't surprise me that I'm not gonna get one when I get back.
Yeah.
So we go with Haven versus Dragon. This is like, as we saw last time, this is a pretty stormy kind of Haven.
Yeah.
Got some interesting text, but I don't actually know how well Haven does in this matchup. Probably does decently.
Yeah, I mean, there's all the banishing effects from dragons now, so that could be a problem late game if he tries to set up amulets and then Lightning Blast comes down. But other than that, the amulets are good against like Bahamut or just on general because you get to do something when your amulets pop. You can't just play something and your dragon respawns. He gets a good trade here, and the tiger gets to pretty much will probably put 4 damage. Oh, he's going to go face. Okay, this does open it up for Blazing Breath to trade, but I guess if he does that, he's not doing anything else, and his bird gets to push in twice, which would be the 4 damage equivalent.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. Reminds me a lot of Darkness Evolved. It's just back in the day when this used to be so hard to deal with.
Yeah. I just played Stormhaven quite extensively when it was good in Darkness Evolved. Okay, I like the bird
here. A lot out here.
Yeah. Next thing he gets to play 3 and 5 or.
Yo, that bird gets to come out on the same turn on curve as Dark Shun if he wants to push like 7 damage face with it. That could be something that we're gonna see happen.
But Yao gets to ramp up quite a lot here because he has double alias. Oh, he's trading both in.
Oh yeah, going for the double. This is
he doesn't want
Super
Cujo.
Saiyan that has gone beyond Super Saiyan.
Yeah, makes sense. He goes up to 7 next turn.
Activates Overflow right there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's trying to ramp up as fast as he can to his Bahamut and his Refill.
Alright, goes Super Saiyan 3, 3rd ramp.
I'm surprised I would consider going for the Sybil this turn, but would Sybil be good?
I mean, he can go up to 9 if he wants to, and then on his next turn he's able to play his Bahamut.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if he plays Sybil this turn, he could just get traded easily. He might want to evolve it later.
Mm.
What's the play here?
Bahamut's not out. You could just Evo this, put out some dogs, and they're very difficult to, oh, he could play Sybil. I didn't see his play points left. So he went Fervor instead, yeah. Alright, pretty good. His dogs are healthy, and they could push a lot of damage with Dark John next turn if a significant number survive.
And the second Falcon's going to come out.
Oh yeah, that's actually so much burst with Dark John.
Does he play a second dog here, or does he... Yeah, because he's probably using an Evo on something else, right? So he might as well get the Cujo out. One extra attack.
This man is actually looking pretty scoops. Let's see what he's got though.
He does look pretty spooky.
Zell, he's got a Grimnir if he wants, a Sybil.
Zell's not that good. He's got the Scythe.
A Scyther kind of helps if you can get that to hit the 5/6.
Yeah.
In order to do that, he has to Evo it next to Sybil.
Yeah, Sybil. It's not bad. He gets 3 life back too. But and then he can't really use the Zell on anything, right? Or he could, but he has to leave the Falcon up it that way.
It's very awkward for him if he does that.
Yeah, I think he's
going
going
to
for
heal
the
to
Scyther.
15.
Yeah.
Scyther just so strong right here.
It's pretty good. Oh, he's going for this
Whoa.
trade. Wait, but so he doesn't get to trade into the Falcon? Oh no, he trades this way, but he takes the extra damage on that Sybil.
Yeah, I think he could have done that in the exact opposite way.
Yeah, the exact opposite.
Would have been strictly better. Actually, I feel like that
Not
dies
like
to
this.
Dark Shun because he did that.
Exactly, that's Dark Shun. It also dies to this free stage, is true.
Yeah, unfortunate. But he was very focused on just getting past the ward.
Yeah.
And just saw his Scyther as that's gonna get me past the ward and didn't think about doing it the other way.
So that's 6, 8, 10, so you can push 12 this turn. How's he get the extra 3 damage? Do you just go for it? Because is this your best turn of getting it off?
I would just go for it the way he looks to be right now.
Yeah.
Just slam it down.
Because it does nothing
Push
once
it in.
Bahamut comes on the board and clears.
Half shot the opponent. Opponent Bahamuts and you just Tribunal.
Do you
Put a
Evo
Bahamut.
this?
Oh
yeah, wait, you have to because you set up your Grimnir. Oh, but he's not a 10 play point. I was looking at the Dragon's play point and I'm like, oh yeah, you set up lethal though.
Yes, you would think that it would be that fair.
Oh.
Yeah, he just throws in so much damage. Like instant transmissions behind him, just knocking him around. Hard to play these Grimnirs because this is a Lightning Blast coming out. I mean, this is a Tribunal coming out, so kills the first one, second one denied unless he Lightning Blasts.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But 3 burst damage could be a bit hard to find because I don't think he plays Moons in here.
Yeah, especially if he's playing new Priestess.
Or Garudas. He has a very defensive ending lineup.
Another Falcon can maybe... Oh yeah, I haven't seen a Garuda at all. He might have cut it because he has Dark Genes instead. His 6 slots probably seem full. It seems kind of wrong though to not play Garudas in Stormhaven.
He is the Stormhaven. He's the avatar of Stormhaven.
I guess Dark Gene does have the AoE effect, but Garuda's always doing 3 damage and goes through wards.
Yeah,
I
love Garuda.
Could be preference. I have
I
seen
remember
Dark
when I
Gene
was
a
trying
lot.
to build the deck, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I love all 3 of these cards between Dark Jun, Moon, and Garuda. But playing 2 of each was so clunky.
So many good 6. Great RNG this. Frog Cleric. Imagine if that was a Reno. Wouldn't do as much more, but okay. Double 2s makes sense.
Could be contemplating whether he wants to commit this second frog cleric, but I can't really see or fathom much of a reason not to.
Yeah,
I mean,
do you really want the heal? You don't.
very simple way to just set up lethal here.
Yeah. Put your opponent on a soft check.
Yeah, this could get kind of scary.
I feel like Dragon's actually stabilized in here.
Yeah, I forgot Israfil was in his hand, and that's a big deal. He has another one, doesn't he?
Yep, he just picked one up.
That's actually horrifying.
Also has a Grimnir if he wants to ward.
Kudo's not gonna do much.
That heal is actually super relevant because now Grimnir's not lethal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. And he can't commit the Grimnir here. It's the last damage he has, but how does he ever kill this 10-10? He just get lightning blasted, eat 12.
Yeah, I guess he just eat 12 this turn.
He's been pushing him down all game, and then suddenly, like, Yao just grabs him and just throws him off of him. Wins in, like, a matter of 2 to 3 turns here with this very powerful Israfil stabilize.
That's Dragon for you. I mean, like, early game, they're just spending the turns ramping, and they kind of give up on the board a little bit, and then they just come back on their play point advantage with these big threats and huge clears.
Ugh.
That seems good.
Super massive.
There's no waste. That frog's not going to be enough here.
Frogcleric's gonna try to bandage this up. Ooh, yeah, with the fist pump. Oh, is he taking the mask? No.
No.
I was like, is that man about to take his mask off? Like, that'd be the ultimate pop off.
If he ever wins like the world championship, you think he'll ever take his mask off?
Maybe. Maybe they'll ask him to. Moss still has the exact same expression that he just has not changed at all.
That's really rough. Do you think like in the previous game where he didn't make that misplay with the Heavenly Hound and the Secret Plea, you think it would have made a difference, or would he would have just lost anyways?
Maybe. I'd have to run back through my head all the cards he drew, but I think at the very least it would have been better if he lost. It would have lost from a closer position.
Yeah, because he kind of just got blown out a few turns later turns.
Because it wasn't like a play that was gonna put him back in the game, but it was at least a play that would move him upwards rather than down.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. So we're going to move into our ace match. Let's try to get up there. Let's see who the team captains are for the ace match. Will it be Yao versus Ma again? It kind of seems like it doesn't seem to make too much sense to run the player that just played to play the ace match though.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it gives him the chance to get some revenge.
Yeah. Although the Stormhaven does seem a bit sketch, seeing those last games, but he had to obviously test it out to bring Stormhaven instead of Shadow.
Yeah. I mean, I like his Stormhaven list. It reminds me a lot of stuff that I was trying to brew at the very beginning of the expansion, but I feel like it's just when you lack burn damage or any kind of burst damage later, you just fall behind. Like, you have Grimnir, sure, but against a lot of decks with a lot of healing that stay ahead of you, it can be very difficult to really push people down.
And Grimnir's only doing the face damage on turn 10. So, like, turn 10, like, your opponent could already have stabilized with some heals at that point.
You need some mid-game burn, really, to have, like, a mid-range or aggro list that really works out.
Alright, so it's going to be... Oh! Our boy, Kim Young.
Kim Young coming back. The Thinking Man versus also Thinking Man.
This is Timmy, right?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Did they play... see, I have the list here. Oh no, Timmy didn't play him. This is a new matchup. Timmy did...
I think it was the guy with the brown dyed hair, the cool bangs, who was playing against DDM last time, maybe? I think.
Yeah, Fei Yu. Fei Yu was playing DD.
Yeah.
Timmy did win the matchup, the first game, pretty convincingly. He won 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy.
I feel like the shirt is not really particularly that well fit to this guy. Like, sleeves aren't really doing his arms that much justice.
Not showing his gains.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going into the final match. The ace match. I'm glad it did go into the ace match though. More hype.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in a
Gets
country.
really long story on panel. Yeah.
Yeah. Can Korea get the reverse sweep? Because they were down 0-2 at first.
We can see. I mean, I feel like between these matchups, really is all the only difference being the Haven into Dragon here. Other than that, it's all settled by Shadow. So
yeah, but this is the Aegis list, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was the curators.
Here comes that. It's turn 1 ramp. It's not going to go into a Rahab or anything.
No, but it does go into Aelia, which is not bad. I prefer... If the Aelia gets the ramp, then I prefer it over the Rahab, even though you get the ramp on turn 2 to 4.
Yeah.
This is just better for later on.
Just going to be looking for something. Just going to be looking for some cards to go into with this ramp for now.
Oh, that's a nice draw.
Search. Got a Sahagwheel and Sahagwheel. Already in overflow, and the guy hasn't even gotten to his evolve yet.
Yeah. What do you do here? Do you just play
Jesus. That feel this is this guy's turn 4, and he's passing to 8 play points. It's gonna be so rough. How does he even set up here?
The thing is, his hand's not even good against like big dragon threats. It's like a good anti-aggro hand.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a Tribunal, which is probably the only good card in his hand to deal with dragons right now.
Yeah. At the very least, Kim Young hasn't. Well, now he has drawn something problematic.
Yeah, he's already up to 10 next turn. That's
a 5. You're passing to 10.
That's the Dream Dragon curve.
Your opponent can Grimnir you next turn. You haven't even used a single evolution point yet. That man has gone Super Saiyan 4 at this point. Hair turning blue.
So he's gonna just go for the Lion Spirit to train to it, I guess. It's probably better to hold on to the Tribunal than use the Lion Spirit.
Yeah. Because this gets a pretty clean trade in. Rare footage of being able to trade into that without the agent dying. Bahamut?
Bahamut tool. Bahamut's not that great though because it pops the area. Although your opponent's just going to turn 6 and you have a 13/13.
God, you could Grimnir here and it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
I'd say Sahagwheel Israfil may be pretty good. His hand is pretty stacked, so he doesn't want to dump all these resources at once.
I wouldn't mind the Sahagwheel Israfil because he's got 2 Sahas in his hand. The Grimnir could do... Grimnir's probably good once the Amulets popped.
Yeah.
Although Bahamut's also good when Amulets popped.
Very reactive hand.
Yeah. I think with this turn, because he doesn't have like... All of his plays are just okay. You might as well just use the play that you have 2 of.
Yeah.
Gives you the more selection later.
Definitely wants to try to take advantage of how far ahead he is in play points. Maybe he wants to get these out earlier rather than later. Mm-hmm. If he knows his opponent is probably going to be like an Aegis kind of variant, then he can't really just sit here with all these play points and wait to react to stuff.
Yeah, because he has no answers to the Aegis otherwise. And the Sahagwheel won't do much unless he draws like a Zell, so he can get the Bahamut 13 burst.
Mm-hmm. It's actually really interesting seeing Haven can still make this matchup kind of awkward. His Tribunal is just such a good anti-dragon card.
Yeah, and Kim doesn't have the Ouroboros yet, so it's not like Tribunal's not doing that much. Like all of the targets Tribunal has is good at this point, except for like the Grimnir. But then again, Timmy's only on 6 play points. What can he do this turn? He can play Dark Gene. Play Grimnir. Okay. Grimnir area pass. Okay. He might be setting up for Oh, he's going to trade. Okay. Doesn't want to take the damage. And the 4/1's just a bit annoying for Dragon, I guess, to remove, because he has to commit like one whole card to remove a 1 health creature.
Yeah, that could be so rough. It's like all these amulets are like trying to, like, it makes him want to like bait him into using a lightning blast, but it's just not really quite the right time for it. It's not too hard to deal with those bodies.
I wouldn't
Maybe
mind
just-
the lightning blast though. Gets rid of 2 areas. How like
1 for 3 still good.
yeah, and you have the Bahamut for later on to kill actual fallers.
Yeah. At least, if anything, this forces Timmy to try to kind of develop boards some other way. Just says, nope, these doors are shut. I'm closing that garage. Just plays a flat Jean here.
Yeah, I mean, seems like the best play. He could have been efficient at play point and play curator, but maybe the extra health he could get is relevant. Picks up a Zeus.
That could be pretty big. Puts on a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Should get value before it. Really anything. Zeus, Bahamut, very similar here. They get a little bit of value off that effect, and then it dies to Tribunal. But it does force out the Tribunal.
Mm-hmm.
I like this play.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the Bahamut just die than the Zeus, and the Haven matchup specifically, because Bahamut you don't really want to play it sometimes into amulets on the board.
If you play the Bahamut first this way, then you can Zeus, and Zeus is just chilling. He doesn't care about the Tribunal. But if you want Zeus first and that got Tribunal, you can't even play the Bahamut.
Yeah, you can't play Bahamut this turn. He could go for the Grimnir this turn. Cleans off the Crucial.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind the Zeus this turn though. But he has like tons of options. He could also go for I guess Rahab is probably the most mediocre play.
Yeah. I mean, his Rahab could become super massive if he wants.
Alright, yeah, so here comes Zeus. Trade or does he go face? Ooh.
I say always goes face. This man is Evo in face. I'm gonna say, you got an Aegis? Well, Evo it into my Zeus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if you Evo Aegis into it, you could just trade your Cujo with it. It's not bad.
It looks like all it's gonna do is force out a Themis here.
Yeah, it has to. There's no other way of killing it. 7, yeah. Not really. I guess your Themis is only really killing one thing at a time anyways against Dragon.
Yeah, you just can't let that Zeus stay alive, really.
Yeah. Do people play Olivia under Dragons anymore?
I think some people do. I'm not sure if anybody in this tournament does.
Yeah.
Like earlier I was casting and I remember seeing like 1 or 2. It's like, honestly, when I see it, like he's not going for that Themis.
Yeah, he's going for a double trade instead.
He wants to keep the Themis. Anything else, then he can just kill.
Oh wait, he could use the scripture.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I didn't even see that. I just assumed that the Zeus was immortal.
Yeah, like that's. Oh man, the casters are so hyped. I mean,
Ooh, that's huge.
Pretty good.
Oh, that's so huge. Oh, that's like next to game winning.
Puts him at 1, clears the board. 2, 4, 4.
Grimnir.
Oh yeah, and sets up the Grimnir.
Yeah.
No more evil points either, and the Tribunal's not getting popped.
Yeah, so Kirate's not going to be enough for the healing here. He can Frog Cleric, and Frog Cleric doesn't heal him enough for Grimnir.
How much does Frog heal? 3?
3, yeah. Poor guy. Grimnir just gonna knock him out here.
Yep. Is Grimnir getting touched from the next changes?
What's that? Oh no, Grimnir is not being touched.
Oh, okay.
It's just, in summary, it was just Prince Catacomb 4-drop, Zell being turned into a 4-drop 3/4, that I think evolves into a 5/6 still, and Lightning Blast is losing its enhance effect.
Oh, really?
Yep, they just deleted that line of text. So
All right.
the way I like to see it
I like
is
that.
Prince Catacomb is probably still pretty good. Probably sucks when you go second now. And Zell and Lightning Blast have been kind of just they highlighted the cards and deleted them. Those are some Blizzard nerfs right there.
Yeah. Wow, that actually hurts Dragon quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're pretty justified nerfs because I don't think
Mm.
many people complain about cards more than those two.
Yeah. I think Dragon's still playable too, because they still have good ramps. And some people have been cutting Lightning Blast to like 2, right? It's not a 3 of.
Yeah, yeah. 3 can be so clunky.
Mm-hmm.
It's still bad versus aggro, now it's just bad in general.
But you probably just don't play the card anymore, I'd imagine.
I mean, like, thinking about it, it's what? We pay 1 more than Acolyte's Light so we can target amulets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eh.
Maybe people play like you could play Seraph again.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Lightning Blast is you drop 2 off the cost of Odin to
Yeah,
take away the 4/3 body.
yeah. But you gotta play it earlier.
Yeah.
But do
It's
you
not really
really need to play it on turn 6? Not
There's
really.
no like amulet or like unkillable thing on turns like 6 and 7 that you need the discount for.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I think if they really want that banish effect, they're just gonna play Odin's.
Yeah,
It's
throwback
like
Odins. Haven't seen
back in
Odin in a
like
long
Darkness
time.
Evolved, yeah. Back in like Darkness Evolved, you remember like the pre Bahamut was just Odin, Odin, Odin.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't have Odin until like recently. I had to craft it. So the entire
Recently, you
yeah. Like,
crafted an Odin recent days.
well, okay, not the recent days, but like
Oh yeah.
before Tempest of the Gods. That was
I should have
crafted.
pulled one because he has such a sick emblem.
Oh yeah. I don't think I opened up enough Darkness Evolved packs. Alright, so this is
Alright.
match point for Kim Young versus Shadow versus Timmy's Haven.
Stands poised to take it, and this could be pretty good for him.
Hey, just
Not the
keeps us
worst
so high.
matchup in the world. Go in second.
I would imagine Timmy would want to go first, right? Unless he really wants to turn 4, could you? I guess that's good. But he gets the initiative here with the 2-2 that trades 1 to the 1-2, and you can play Grimnir next turn.
Yeah, good stuff. This neutralizes pretty much all the early game damage you'd be taking otherwise.
Yeah, it's probably better than just playing a reactive Cujo on 4 while taking all the chip damage early on. Kim Young Kid uses Zombie Party here, I guess.
Soul Squasher seems okay. Doesn't want to protect the 1/2.
Yeah. Rather has the 2-2 on the board. Zombie Party is nice, has a nice enhanced effect too. But Grimnir just kind of lets Timmy get a lot of good value trades next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the Zombie Party could go on this, but he's not playing anything.
Yeah, he's playing to climb back down rather than really get any further ahead.
Yeah. I mean, he could push 2 damage, yeah, which it takes. Makes sense.
If he had a 2-drop in hand, like Illyrial here, for example, it'd be pretty massive because he'd get like a 2-drop or even like a Shadow Reaper, play it next to the Conjurer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but his turn 4 is just a bit awkward, just playing off curve.
Yeah.
Picks up a Beast Skull area, makes sense. He doesn't want to play the Grimnir now. The board's not really doing anything, especially that Kim Young can Evo this turn.
No, Phantom Hell doesn't really help him because
Yeah.
I was really gonna get an awkward hand.
Yeah, Phantom
Bone
Hell.
Chimera?
Phantom Hell is good to draw if he got the early chip damage and he pairs it with the Cerberus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like all he can do is really play this Bone Chimera this turn.
Yeah, he's going to evolve it. Hopes that there's no banish, but there's
Gotta pray for no banish, but you know, who do you think you're playing against here?
yeah, that Bone Chimera is going to the Shadow Realm.
Rip.
Okay, so he's not going to set up a faller this turn. He's just going to set up the area. I guess he doesn't have any countdown effects, so He's just naturally waiting for it to go off.
Very interesting. A lot of people are considering the area a bit too slow, but we've seen it a lot in this tournament.
Yeah, pretty much everyone that's playing Haven playing it.
And a lot of this pre-evolve
yeah.
Reaper happening.
Wait, is it relevant against? I guess Lion Spirit, right?
Now it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lion Spirit and John. Yeah. I was just thinking like it doesn't do anything against MS, but this makes a lot of sense.
It's so punishable, I feel.
Yeah, it's such
a
risky play.
The two. If the opponent just so much as clears the 2/2 and just tribunals, it's like, well,
yeah.
there's
yeah.
your evolve point.
Rip. Tribunal, Themis. I guess you wouldn't mind if a Themis comes down because you're following up with like Desperate and Nectar. So you'd rather see a Themis now than in the next couple turns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, but the Cujo makes it so that the Reaper's not getting the extra +1.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. 4/5, not easy to deal with either because the Death Breath zombies can't just climb over that by themselves on evolve.
Yeah. He doesn't have enough shadows either, so it's just 2/2s.
Oh gosh, that's actually a really strong cudgel. Because it denied him that 6th, no, actually no. He would have been up to 5 shadows, then gained 1 from casting it, so still not good, would not have had enough for his Death Breath to go off.
Oh, and this turn's going to be really good for Timmy because he gets to play the Dark John, which will clear everything.
This is a Gachi-gasm worthy Dark John. It's so good.
He does lose the Cujo.
Cleric, but...
Yeah, but I mean, you're clearing off your opponent's entire board. And you don't really care as much because you're Haven.
Yeah, and you're setting up your area to just pop onto an empty board.
Mm-hmm.
It can't even be interacted with yet.
Well, granted, there is an Nectar coming out this turn. The awkward thing is the zombies only 4 attack is not enough against John. He's going for the stat close to Cerberus instead.
Alright. Sets this up, but does not really have a game plan in his hand to really push 14 damage out of nowhere.
Yeah, at the most of the fam, he's going to 9. I'm surprised how many zombies did he get? He gets 3, right?
3? Yeah.
So he would have to run 2, and I guess it's not that good of a Nectar, but is this any better?
Pops the 2 damage on the Jun.
Okay. I guess it sets it up for Nectar.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. This turn probably just Tribunal and Priestess. Unless he wants to set up the area. Because we did see Timmy set up area rather than developing before. Second.
Yeah, I'd say I'd like that here too. But maybe all these turns are going to be fast. He could just get the body instead.
Because if area was played on turn 7, it lines up super nicely with Grimnir, but yeah, he's just gonna go for the area. This is consistent. It's consistent to what he was playing earlier.
Yeah, I like it. The Prison Priestess, doesn't really fetch anything too important. Can filter whenever.
Also, Hector would be able to trade into everything if he had played the Priestess.
Out comes the Hector. Pretty cleanly trades into it all and gives him these shadows back for the Phantom Hell.
Yeah. Maybe Timmy was actually thinking of the Hector. That's why he didn't play Priestess. Because this one zombie with Rush doesn't do anything. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good card. Nice.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it clears the board. He does lose his last Evo and his body, but he's going to be picked.
Worse ways. Yeah, worse ways to do that than killing the Hector.
Kills the Hector. He's going to be drawing more cards with the Plea in a couple turns. Got Grimnir next turn. It's looking good for him. Ooh.
Second Hector. Kind of awkward. Only gets 2 zombies out of this, unless he wants to. I don't think he can play that version, Coco, beforehand. So, really, it just comes down to 2 zombies.
What if he Cocos beforehand? He gets 3 zombies.
I don't think he can target anything with it though.
Oh, that's not me. Oh yeah, because he used a Mimi, right?
Yeah. So Bone Chimera is kind of awkward too. So really, his hand is looking pretty unoptimal.
Yeah, like if you play Bold Chimera, you just pass. And
Such a slow turn 9.
if you play Ector, I guess you gotta go for it, right?
Yeah, he's just developing. And these amulets are still taking a while to develop, so
Yeah, he's got one turn.
playing off the top here.
His Grimmer's going to do quite a bit, though. Oh,
Ooh. Oh, I didn't see the Grimnir. I forgot that was there.
okay.
Conserves it.
Yeah.
Anything he plays right now, he's gonna just get killed by this Tribunal. But the Bone Chimera can kind of give him a little bit of a 50-50 out.
What does he want this Tribunal to hit? I guess the...
Bone Chimera.
Yeah.
Because if it hits the Bone Chimera, that's the easiest Grimnir ever.
Well,
Easiest Grimnir ever, I say.
yeah. Oh, Kim Young is happy about it. Like, he wanted the Bone Chimera to get hit, and Timmy wanted
Yeah,
to
now
get the
he's
Bone
just gonna...
Chimera to get hit. So, both players are happy from this outcome, I guess. For a moment.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Such a painful animation to watch. It's so excruciating.
Yeah, I love the Japanese voice for this too. It's so much
He's
better
just
than
completely
English.
going off.
Yeah.
Grimnir. Throwing the Phantom Hell, but this is all just trading. So low on resources here.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, bless RNG. Nice!
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think no matter what it hits,
Oh,
it
yeah,
works.
you're right.
He can
It's
work
enough
out the
damage.
same. Yeah.
It looked impressive, for what it's worth.
I guess if it hits the
Maybe...
2-1, you're kind of annoyed.
Yeah. It's 2-1. He doesn't get that 1 damage in. Draw 2 coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Not giving him much impact, but this Judge is a large body.
I was gonna say like Kim Young could draw his last Easter, but even if he does, like just a Tribunal waiting for it.
Ooh.
There's a big boy. Doesn't even have to play it though at this point.
Such a low impact draw. I think almost everything that Haven draws after a certain point is going to be higher value than each individual draw from Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, what does Shadow have that's good besides Ictor at this right now? You could draw Cerberus into another Phantom Howl, but that's still not even enough damage.
Yup, I'm just going to get rebuked. One shot, one opportunity. Alright,
Alright, so it's tied up 1-1. Wow. I've actually noticed like none of these players are playing Test of Strengths, or we haven't seen the Test of Strengths of all these Aegis players.
Lots of people are cutting it just because it does a lot for what it's worth at the time of playing it into Aegis.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people are just thinking, I play Aegis, I probably win anyway. I don't play Aegis, and the Test of Strength doesn't help.
Yeah.
So, it's not like Guardian Sun, where you can just kind of set it up early and just forever have words.
Yeah, especially it was like a countdown of 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Only lasts for the turn you play it and the turn after that.
Yeah. So it only protects you when you're playing the Aegis turn, which takes up your whole turn. Well, if you have 2, I guess it's a bit different, but
I sometimes feel like maybe somewhere down in the bottom rung of ideas that Guardian Sun itself is still not that bad of a card.
Not against
Even if
dragons.
It doesn't work with Aegis. Yeah, not against Dragon. Dragon doesn't care. Like, Dragon's like an amulet. What is this? A toy?
I guess it might get a bit better if people stop playing Lightning Blast, but Bahamut's still a thing.
Yeah.
I think they could have made Bahamut like the most broken card, and then they still won't touch it because it's such a core character.
Yeah. I just wish that when they first made Bahamut, they made his effect so that if your opponent controls followers at all, he cannot attack face.
Oh, I see.
Just because, like, it would make him feel a little bit more like a true boss monster. Like, you really have to accomplish a lot to get him to hit face, kind of thing.
Yeah, because he already has a really good effect.
Yeah. Then again, I think what the kind of design this game has is like cards that cost a lot tend not to really come with downsides. And Bahamut has like a air quotes downside. Oh, here it
Yeah.
comes. The whole match decided by a shadow mirror.
Difference of how many money? It's like 5,000 between first
Yeah,
and
that's a
second.
lot. A
Yeah,
lot of money riding on a shadow mirror.
and Kim Young's hand doesn't seem that good. Really don't
Yeah,
want to see.
gonna have to.
Timmy's hand doesn't seem as good either, but he still could mulligan right now.
It's gonna have to pray for a little more than this. Because
Yeah.
a problem I've seen Shadow run into is like, if it does lose speed because it draws too much high cost stuff, it can be so rough.
Ooh.
I feel when you lose a Reaper to an Actor.
Yeah, but do you? Reaper's not really a card you play that early, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. At least he picks up a catacomb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, both players picked up a catacomb. So, what do you do here? Do you zombie party? Yeah. Wants to deny the catacomb. Makes sense.
Yeah, strong player around there. Even if it plays around his own Catacomb a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, next turn he could play 2 and 1, and then he could go catacomb.
Double Catacomb.
That gets pretty memey sometimes.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like the flood of early game minions here until one
But-
else stabilizes.
But this double minion drop is actually pretty strong because that catacomb's not going into anything.
Yeah.
He could play double 2s, but he's not trading. Oh, okay, he's going for the catacomb instead. I guess he wants his board to be more sticky rather than setting up a bunch of 2 drops, which makes sense because Timmy could evolve his turn.
Right. Probably wants to just play the Catacomb here regardless of the Conjurer. So you kind
Yeah.
of get a sturdier board. He doesn't want to play the Soul Squasher just yet.
Yeah, he wants to
He
wait a
can
turn.
get 4 shadows out of this board.
Easily. Yeah, so Squasher into like and Conjure is like a pretty big swing turn. He probably won't have enough shadows for Death Breath on 6, but if he has the board by then, doesn't really care.
Yeah. It's worth it for the power.
Yeah.
You could just play Death Breath anyway for the zombies. Just go into Yaktar. It'd be a massive push.
And you probably just go face this 2.
Yeah. Starting to pull ahead from the playing second position, Timmy.
Yeah. His hand does seem a bit better. Kim Young does have double Cerberus.
I think what Kim Young's definitely going to be looking for is something to do on turn 6. Because if he can go Cerberus into like, find some strong turn 6 play, even if it's not a Death Breath, just like any combination of card that's decent, into Yaktar, he gets to do that first, so
Yeah.
you can push him back into this game.
I think, yeah, his turn 6 doesn't seem too bad. He has Cerberus plus the Coco or the maybe.
Yeah.
And he actually kind of looks ahead at this point. What's turn 5 for? The Soul Squasher is just such a swing card. Like, as soon as Timmy plays his Soul Squasher, I'm going to say he's winning.
Yeah. He swung back with a Soul Squasher Conjurer, and now Timmy can swing back with a Soul Squasher Conjurer.
Do you play the Conjurer or do you go for the Bone Chimera?
I like the idea of the Conjurer because you get that full trade out here.
Yeah.
But he could
Or
just
he-
make Chimera for more development.
Yeah, he could just trade the Shadow Beast too if he wants. If he wants to be efficient. Okay, so it looks like from this he's going to go for the Conjurer.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, he gets 1 higher stat. In a way.
Pretty good stuff. He's pretty stable. One Cerberus alone. Well, she can half clear this, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he could evolve it as well. Follow up with Ector. Ector would get
Maybe-
2 zombies.
Yeah, and after clearing all of that, just due to the shadows spent on the Soul Squasher, he doesn't have enough left for a full power Death Breath anymore.
And the Death Breath, he actually kind of wants the... Actually, the health doesn't really matter, I guess, against Ector. Because the zombies can run over each other. Oh, he saves the evil. Alright, so he goes for the death breath without the ward. But he has a full board now. The Ector gets 3 zombies. He can evolve his Ector. So he can leave just the Shadow Beast up.
Hmm. Goes for second Cerberus.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess he wants more value on the Ector. He does get to clear off 2 zombies with this.
Yeah,
Or
pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Still, a little bit scary of a position to be in.
Oh, is this a... He picked up all 3 servers. Pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
It might actually do quite a bit of work, like the memes.
They are killing all these zombies left and right. They are setting up a lot of damage from hand.
Yeah.
I think what he's going for is he's like, you know what? I'm not dead yet. No matter whether I get punched by an Actar, this deck doesn't have that much burst in it, really. So I'm going to let him have that now, and then it's going to give me the shadows I need for a huge Actar swing.
Oh, but this Orthros is actually a pretty nice pickup for Timmy.
Oh, yeah.
Because he could full clear this and push 4 off a zombie.
Then develop the Bone Chimera.
Oh, but
I don't even care about that.
Yeah, he's going for the Hector instead. I guess this is probably better. You get a bigger body, right? You do similar trades. You actually push more damage this turn as well. And you get to build up more shadows for your second Hector later on.
And now without an Evo point left, he plays this and a Coco alongside a zombie. Can take care of the main Actar. And he has 2 other zombies to do some more clearing on the side.
Oh yeah, so what a suiting series set game.
Yep. Here comes Actar number 2.
But this Actor's not even that good. He gets 1 zombie.
Yeah, he would have to double trade the 2 side minions into the Actar himself.
I feel like he just goes for the Orthros and it just plays all the other followers because he pushes 3 and he has the Actor in his hand, so if anything lives, he's pushing more damage.
Actually, yeah.
Which has a high chance.
Very, very strong.
Yeah, because the Bone Chimera is going to stick, most likely.
Actually, yeah, I think that's a very difficult to get around way past this. Absolutely right.
It's 4 followers on the board. It's very hard for Kim Young to get through this.
Nothing short of a lightning blast will really save him from this situation.
Yeah. A Foul Tempest?
No way he runs there.
I didn't even think Foul Tempest would be enough.
Yeah, no. He would need more attackers, mostly. Foul Tempests, if he had it, it's Cerberus. Maybe something. Who knows?
I think he just dies on board, actually. I guess this is a way he could... Yeah, he could clear off most things.
Actually, he could maybe not pop the Bone Chimera.
Yeah.
And then just clear the other 3. And he lives with 1 health.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I forgot
no.
the skeleton, actually.
The skeleton, yeah, from the...
Never mind. He lives with 0 health, so we ain't living right now.
Yeah. You just have to go face. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, he's just sitting there with the actual most, like...
And Timmy would have won no matter what with that top deck, with the Cerberus.
Oh,
so even if it was able to leave just 1 thing on the board, he would have died.
Yeah. So, just 1 second and still stayed ahead all game. He pops off, he stands up in a very calm, very stoic manner.
That was actually a really good series, though.
Yeah.
Or Team Japan was just extended BM because they're up 2-0. They're like, let's let Korea play a little longer.
Yeah, they both smile also. Got that Japanese hype. JP tournament and JP team won.
Rigged, obviously.
Yeah, keep that Shadowverse home turf.
Yeah. Japan can't lose in Japan soil.
Yeah, we invented coin flipping, come on.
Yeah, overall, it's a pretty good series there. Even despite all the games being like most of the games being Dragon and Shadow, it's still a pretty good set of
Yeah.
5 best of 3s.
A lot of things can be decided by outside factors, but still kind of cool watching some ways in which Japanese players that a lot of North Americans don't. Like those pre-Evo Shadow Reapers, how in they go. Lots of
Yeah,
cool stuff to like from these.
yeah. Before watching this, I haven't really seen anyone pre-evolve Shadow Reapers, but
Yeah,
maybe that
unless they
becomes
were specifically playing around something like Breath, but just doing it on any tournament, just because they want
yeah,
to get that extra damage in.
yeah. Maybe people start adapting that moving forward, but that's if people are still playing the same version of the Shadows after the nerfs.
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of what we just saw could be semi-invalidated now that a lot of the main cards that were taking center stage in that tournament have been hit by pretty cripplingly strong nerfs.
Yeah, Dragon 2.
Dragon especially, yeah.
Yeah, the executive director.
Yo. Everybody panic, there's a girl.
PogChamp Eloise.
Eloise.
Alright. I think that's. I don't think anything else happens. Oh, yeah, who gets the MVP? Oh, yeah, I guess Timmy gets MVP. That makes sense. Because he.
Play of the game.
I mean, he did win the set for Japan, so.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I mean, it's kind of fixed too because he was team captain, so he had to win.
Oh, okay, he was team captain. Cool. That is a pretty dope looking MVP sign.
Yeah.
Every time I see JP players, they look so like kind of awkward as they're just kind of being huddled into wherever they need to get the photos taken.
Yeah, I mean they're all otakus, right?
Yeah, they're playing Shadowverse competitively. It's literally just all otaku.
All right. All right, but that's pretty much it. So I could try. Looking at the timeline, they're just celebrating, getting their checks.
Yeah,
And then
just
there's
watching those
commentaries.
JP men collecting that money.
Yeah. Alright, so pretty much going to start tuning out here. Thanks everyone for tuning in, the English broadcast. Thanks Shadowverse and Cygames for letting us dub over this. Essentially, the English dub version. Huge shout out for MofuMocha for co-casting this with me again.
Yeah,
My
thanks, man. It was
go-to
a pleasure.
casting. Yeah, it was fun. Is there any last words you want to have tuning out?
Well, thanks again for letting me cast. I'm always happy to help out with this stuff. Pretty chill environment. Thanks everyone who watched, because there's a lot of people who just kind of tune in every time I cast, and like those people who came because I like announced that. Like, thanks, love you guys. Everyone else, thank you.
Yeah, otherwise I would get no viewers if you're not casting.
I'm sure that's not true.
Alright, but yeah, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully we could do these again in the future. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Japanese events that I missed, but this is the only time where I noticed it. Like, they made a post on Reddit, and I saw it. Other times I just... Or by the time I see the post, it's just like, it's already passed, so... Yeah, it was good. I'm going to be tuning out. Gotta head out soon. So...
Yeah, I'm gonna make some food.
Yeah. Get some rest after all day casting.
Double casting.
Yeah,
this is a chill environment though, so all good.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about anything on production besides the early lag trying to buffer. Yeah. But I'm glad they have the VOD on YouTube. So much easier on my bandwidth.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to cast over events like this because like there's no production that's like other people's doing.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything for them.
We're just
watching the.
Yeah, we're just ripping off other people's work.
Like, yeah, half casting, half just like rough tracking on it.
Yeah. Pog champ.
The literal Pog champion.
You don't get.
Giving them flowers? Yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
Okay, they get a trophy at least. They get a trophy.
Okay. I was about to be like, if their trophy is just a bouquet of flowers, that's the most like cop and pride reward.
You just gotta split out the flowers.
Yeah, each person gets one.
Oh man. I heard that they might introduce a rank that's higher than Masters.
Oh yeah, Grandmaster. We have no information on it, but I'm just hoping it works like Legend in HS, where like you actually fight for a ranking position again.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some kind of ELO matchmaking system.
Rather
It'd
than
be-
just climbing points, or
Yeah, it'd be good.
yeah, I probably prefer it in this kind of game because this style ladder just whoever has the most time.
Yeah, you can't really prove whether or not a deck or tech works because it's like, oh, I won 30 times in a row against it versus AA players, and I'm like 100k master. But
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
true.
see you play the deck a lot. But if you're like #1 Grandmaster, like you beat a guy 20 times to get rank 1, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna head out, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, again. And hopefully I could stream again sometime in the future. Probably... I don't know. But I'll probably stream again sometime this week. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow here on Twitch. Make sure you join the Discord so you get the announcements of when I'm going live. And yeah, oh man, yeah. Yao talking.
That's so silly.
Yo, he sounds like Hector.
Does he actually? Oh my god.
He's got kind of a deeper voice.
That's so sick.
Alright. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to head out. Peace.
Alright. Peace.